Council. Today marks the beginning of our 2027 budget process with the workshop. You have in front of you a proposed 2027 budget with approximately $16.5 million, representing a little over a 2% increase over 2026's approved budget. Excluding debt service, the budget is increasing only a little over 1%. Not a whole lot to see in this budget because it's very flat. Throughout the course of last year and this year, we've had lots of conversations about Senate Enrolled Act 1, which was adopted and signed by the governor in 2025. That legislation adopted pretty sweeping changes with regards to property taxes. That bill implements changes in property tax calculations over approximately 5-year period. So between 2025 through approximately 2020 or 2030, we will be incorporating those statutory changes. And as we've talked about before, our budget is very, very flat. We're doing our best to continue maintaining the exceptional services that we deliver every single day, rain or shine, 24 hours a day. One of the vehicles that was also adopted in 2025, but then was amended in 2026, was a process for the adoption of local income taxes. A new local income tax is being created through that bill that is intended to provide replacement revenue from the revenue that's being lost with the property tax reform. The disconnect with regards to the property tax reform is it's implemented over a 5-year period, but the new local income tax will not be adopted by council until the summer of 2028, will not go into effect until January of 2029, and will not essentially generate proceeds until 2030. The conversations that we will have with regards to the local income tax are going to be very, very important between now and, per the law, October the 1st, all the municipalities and the county are supposed to participate in a meeting arranged by the county called MUS, which is a Municipal Unit Strategic Task Force, in order to discuss local income taxes and whether or not the municipalities, which in this instance would be Hanover and Madison, would work with Jefferson County in adopting a single rate to cover all of our needs with regard to these budget changes, plus discussions particularly on public safety and EMS. That meeting hasn't happened yet. Believe that Jefferson County intends to do that after they get further along into their 2027 budget process, but it is a requirement that we report to DLGF and the state legislature by October the 1st. The results of that, those meetings, and whether or not a non-binding agreement would be entered into by the municipalities and the county. So we still have a lot of work to do with regards to identifying replacement revenue, and essentially what this is doing, as we've talked about, is it's shifting from a local government support primarily being property taxes, which would be homesteads, non-homestead, multifamily, and commercial and industrial properties. Instead of that being the primary source of supporting local governments, it'll shift now over between property taxes and local income taxes. Unfortunately, what that means is, in some instances, our local income taxes are going to go up. So anybody that lives in Madison that has a job, Madison, Jefferson County, Hanover, that has a job, will be paying a local income tax like they do now. There's a little over a 1% local income tax, but per the legislation, that number could double. In fact, it could go up to almost 3%. We have to do the financial modeling and discuss those between the units of government on whether or not we can adopt a single rate or whether each of us will adopt our own municipal rate. So lots of work still to do on that. And like I said, that's a process that is going to take us through the summer of 2028 before it's adopted, and several years past that before the revenue is actually created. Along the way, what we've been doing is identifying all opportunities to increase our revenue and either hold our expenses flat or reduce expenses. It's very, very difficult to reduce our expenses. There's very little in this 2027 budget that's truly discretionary. I believe that our staffing level at 106 full-time employees is barely adequate to cover all the demands of the day-to-day with the city, but we are not projecting any growth or any new employees, full-time employees. There may be some part-time employees there. We'll basically staying even. A couple of changes in this budget that we'll get into later will be how we're accounting for salaries and benefits, trying to ease that administration of it, and then the other thing is park bond for 2027. It's been 37 years since City of Madison issued a park bond that was pretty ambitious back in 1989, and coincidentally, the park bond that's needed today is to support and revitalize those parks that were created in 1989. And so we can go through that in greater detail. If we have time tonight, I can go through the financial plan, but I actually have a full presentation on the park investments. I believe I've talked with each of the council members about our needs, our capital investment needs, and our key initiatives and priorities. Last year we adopted a food and beverage tax and a wheel tax. 2027 will be the first year in which we will have a full year of collections with the food and beverage tax. That is working out very well and is dedicated 100% to supporting park investments, which are extremely critical for our community. The wheel tax will support our road investments, and as I've expressed before in previous meetings, I'm very concerned about the CCMG program. It's only going to be $100 million for 2027. We need to spend at least $1 million a year on roads to do 1/10 of the work that our asset management plan calls for. But we're continuing to do that and hone in on it, and we'll apply for the max, which is $1 million CCMG, utilizing our wheel tax plus CCMG funding if we do get it. It's a very competitive program now, and it's oversubscribed. Last year they did or for 2026, there were probably $200 to $300 million of applications for $100 million of funding. They did approve a special allocation of $75 million, which allowed us to do our 2026 CCMG program, but I'm not sure that that's going to be sustainable going forward. The way we want to do the meeting tonight is we have several of our department heads here who manage pretty large budgets, police and fire and parks in particular. As I said, the budget is pretty flat. We'd like to go through the budget and answer any questions that you might have, and if we need to go beyond tonight, I think we also have tomorrow. See, we're just coming back here tomorrow. If we need tomorrow to work through the rest of the workshop. From a timing perspective, what happens after tonight and tomorrow night is that Shirley, Minnie, myself will distill all this budget down into the proper DLGF forms. There'll be a notice to taxpayers form that would be created and then published on Gateway. And I believe that we would expect to come back at our September 22nd City Council meeting for the first reading and public hearing of the budget, with an adoption October the 6th. Everything needs to be approved by council and the mayor by November the 2nd. I believe input into Gateway within a week after that, I believe. Is that right, Shirley?
Yes, your testimony.
Oh.
Your testimony knowledge.
Yep.
So yeah, I believe that's correct.
So we'll have a chunk of time after this week till when we get to the council to adopt it September 22nd. But just keep in mind that we'll have to finalize this, get it into a notice to taxpayer form. That's got to be published about 10 days before we have the actual council meeting where the public hearing would be for any comments anybody might have with regard to our budget. But that's the timetable and that's the overview.
I have a couple just general, if that's
Yeah, go
okay.
ahead.
First of all, I wanted to remind you that this is a proposal and it's going to change. Little things here and there are going to move around. We just received estimates. I mean, they were coming in until the last couple of days. So we've done the best we could at estimating. We know things are going to change in it. Nothing major, but just, things are gonna move around a little bit. At some point, you have to call a stop to it and start printing and sending it out so people can look at it. Also, like the salary ordinance, I know I already need to make some changes because Brian Jackson, we had not adjusted his salary bands to include, his increase for employees, so that's document is gonna change for you. As we run through this, we're probably not gonna go line by line because it really didn't change overall. But if you have questions for the department heads, they'll be up here to answer those for you. Keep in mind that the relatively flat budget that's slightly increased includes a 3% increase in our benefits, which is a large number. And I put in a 15% increase for our property casualty insurance. I don't know where that's gonna come in, but I budgeted 15%. So there's increases in things that we can't control in there, and it's still relatively flat, so.
Yeah, I would just close with my opening remarks and saying that this is still a good budget. It allows us to provide what I believe are exceptional services. It still allows us to make proper investments. We have lots of infrastructure investments that are already past the planning stages and have already been funded. So we're happy that, and that's a priority for our administration to continue to be able to make investments. As Mindy said, you might see some things in here you got questions about. I would just say that, if they're minor, or if it's a miscalculation or something, point it out to us, particularly if it's significant, and we'll just go through and do this. But I do want to take time, if we have time tonight, to talk about the park investment strategy and give you a good preview of what that looks like. But we'll have opportunity later to just do a full presentation, because I think it deserves at least an hour of conversation to talk about priority park investments for 2027, and that's on top of continuing to do the Main Street revitalization and the other parks that we have already broken ground on. I'll pause there. Anybody questions for me on kind of the prelude to everything? If not, we'll get started.
Is it okay if I just make a
Yeah,
quick
please do.
thank you?
Yeah.
Thank you to you, Bob. Thank you to you, Mindy. This is just a huge undertaking that you guys put this together, and I know it's a months-long process, and I've enjoyed being a part of it and just observing this for the last 2 years. So thank you guys for your hard work.
What she's really saying is this is her last budget. And but thank you for your help too, Shirley. Honestly, we're at the beginning stages of getting it all distilled for adoption.
All right, we're gonna start with parks, because Tanya has to go tonight, so we're gonna get her in there first. And Mayor, I will remind you, there is a new position in parks, one full-time, one part-time.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
That we talked about early on, so, that is in the parks
It's in the
budget.
budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
So come on up. I will, let's start with Park General. Is that the easiest thing to do? Parks, I'll start with, Parks does have all of their employees that are in Parks General. We did not put that in Common Council. That depending on where the levies fall and how much revenue is in each levy, I have to balance that out. So Parks has their own salaries, benefits, FICA perf, longevity, and benefits in their budget. Other than that, can you run real quickly through what changes we made in the general budget?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
So every single person that works in the Parks Department is included in that lump number one line there?
Parks General.
Parks General, unless they are at Sunrise,
Sunrise,
at
or
Crystal, or
Beach.
at the campground.
Campground, yeah.
Okay,
And that does include, like Mindy said, an additional full-time maintenance position,
and let's point out that really we're just filling a maintenance position that
never filled.
was never filled. Like
That's correct.
Mr. Cosby took another job and we've never hired that new person. We're not asking for an additional, we're asking to replace the person that's gone.
That's correct.
The lump sum,
The
there's no breakdown?
I do have the breakdown. I can send it to you. I did not put it on this sheet.
Yes, please.
Yes, I will do that.
You say there are no changes, but last year your budget was 2 pages long and now it's a half a page. So obviously all those positions, but there have to be some other,
I combined stuff to make it easier for them as they're paying bills.
okay.
So if it's general operating, it's one line for operating expenses,
Supplies is one line versus.
utilities.
Okay.
And remember, part of that tactic was having fewer appropriations numbers because we were having to make a lot of adjustments because some of these appropriation lines were like $500. Well, you spent $600. Now you're having to transfer $100, and so that's why some of these numbers are combined.
I
So
like
you don't
that
have really
idea.
de minimis amounts.
And I see a reduction overall of about $74,000. So are we saying then nothing was moved into food and beverage that used to be in this category?
We did move stuff around. Let me look.
Do you want to move to FAB? And see what that was?
I mean, I have FAB ready to go too.
I do
Well, before you go on FAB, I mean, I noticed we don't have a 2027 park liability insurance.
Yeah, so I took that out and I have what I believe will be the whole premium in common council.
Okay.
So there was no point in inflating their budget
Okay.
for money that we've got elsewhere.
Okay.
And where did you move telephone and postage? Did that go to?
It
Food and
just got
beverage?
lumped into park supplies. Well, the postage did. We haven't had a telephone bill for a couple years, so we weren't using it, so I'm not sure which department it ends up coming out of, but since we hadn't used it, we just zeroed it out.
We have general utility lines and telephone lines, and Brian Jackson pays the Verizon bill, so I don't ask questions. All that.
He has more money than us.
You tell me what you want to do. Do you want to go to FAB or you want to go through Campground, Sunrise, and Crystal real quick before we do that?
It doesn't matter. And let's go to FAB just because I got them all marked.
Okay.
On that park general, I guess we need to break down and verify. You can see 519 last year total for the FICA, for the salaries, FICA, benefits, and everything.
I have this sheet you gave me. Do you want me to bring make copies real fast? while they're looking?
579,
You can.
Last year was all broken down.
so $60,000 difference. Is that just the,
It's probably going to be the FICA perf that's included in there. But it's everything. So it's FICA perf longevity and their benefits.
Is that also the full-time and part-time person that you talked about earlier?
That's in general, right?
Oh, yes.
Is that where we did that? Yes.
I think that's what you're talking about, right, Josh? That there's an increase. I think it's because you talked about those two new people.
Christian went to make copies of the breakdown. We'll have that for you here in just a
Josh, where do you see that number from last year?
full budget workbook 2026, if you look at park general, add up the first, however many lines that it is,
Oh, of all the different positions?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 579, there's 10 lines in here for some reason.
Well, because if they're hidden, it's because they're lumped in to another line.
On the last year.
Yes, and I wanted the people who are managing their budgets to know what is included in each line, but it doesn't need to be included in the total.
That's where I got 519 was I didn't know it's
50 grand.
trying to figure out seeing the same thing. If they added somebody, then 60,000 would be the difference that I'm seeing.
And again, I will go back through before we finalize everything and rerun the salary numbers, the benefit numbers, and make sure that we're where we need to be.
Are we actually adding someone, or?
We are adding a full-time, well, it's not an
It was
actual ad, as Carla
before
said.
that it was a position that was never filled.
Yeah, we
So
didn't.
the number from 2025 should be, or 26 should be included in 27, right?
I don't remember last year if we budgeted for that position. I don't think we
did
did
and
because
took
we
it
had to,
out.
we had to.
Took it out.
Yeah, we had to cut park general, so
No.
we took it out.
Oh, they just didn't fill it.
Yeah.
Right.
I got it
Yeah.
now. It clicked.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and I apologize for one thing. As you're looking at the comparisons don't work right because I deleted the lines when I moved them into Common Council instead of just zeroing them, so that's on me. I apologize.
That's okay. It's just easier for us to compare and see where the cuts are.
Yep.
When we go line by line. So really, we are adding a part-time person
And one.
to parks.
and
We're
one
refilling the full-time that
Yes.
never got filled, but we're adding
Correct.
an
And I
additional part-time.
believe that part-time person is to help Christian, is that right?
Maintenance, yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference between adding and filling.
Right.
Got it.
I just got a question on this. So in all reality, I look at this and it looks like we're adding the salary, the FICA, longevity benefits this year to this budget where we didn't last year because it's not showing. So that means the actual park budget really is going down because it was 151.5 last year. And so you're basically saying it's 125.2 that you're asking for this year, because we would have had the salary and stuff in other areas. I'm not saying we're not increasing there, but if I just look at the budget without the salaries, is that accurate? We're actually going to go down?
That's where the comparison got messy, Josh. If you look at last year's budget workbook, it's 730 is the amount from last year, not 151, because those lines got deleted out.
Okay.
Yeah, and some of
All
that
right.
was moved to FAB.
So it's still not an increase, according to, it's still.
Yeah, which is,
26,000 instead of.
I'm a little surprised because I feel like our parks have, we've had increased numbers. You're seeing an increase in park supplies, needed, more manpower. So you got some little increases here and there, but I'm just surprised, I guess. Maybe it's because the insurance is not showing on this and it would normally show. That would be, I guess, the big difference. But no, I mean, I'm just amazed. I expected it to actually go up a little bit more, but kudos to you guys if you can keep it down.
And I will tell you, on that salary thing he just gave you, the line that says Nick, that's 2 positions there. That's him and then the additional position. That's the only, it's the park full-time line. So he's 40 and we budgeted 45. Does that make sense? Okay.
Are we good to go over to food and beverage,
Yeah,
you
that's
guys?
where I'm headed.
Patrick,
that now.
you good? All right, Tanya, so let's go to food and beverage.
There are part of the park operating expenses that we have moved here. So you guys just let me know what questions you have.
You want to talk about the lease and purchase of other equipment?
Sure. So we budgeted here the lease for all of the new equipment we have at Rucker or Sunrise, pulled those out of those budgets, and it's all right here. So,
I'm
That was
sure Mr.
equipment.
Gallatin will appreciate that.
Yeah, that was equipment that Scott Klein purchased, and we sort of cobbled it together to make those payments last year, so we got them budgeted for this year.
Do you have a breakdown between the golf course and Rucker?
it's about half.
No, I'd say it's probably 75-25. Rucker versus.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Can I ask a quick question? So the funds that we set up, are we going to eliminate those funds then, the end of this year, do you think? We've got a fund for Crystal Beach, a fund for the campground.
No, those will all stay. The only one that we might probably do away with is Rucker.
Okay,
It just doesn't bring in enough revenue for what it,
right, and you didn't fund it last year, so that makes sense, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it will.
Is there if we're gonna do this whole Rucker revitalization and
Yeah,
bring in revenue.
yeah,
It's hard to say yet.
Yeah, it will need its own NRO.
okay, so we'll probably just leave it, Shirley, not use it.
And that's one thing we did miss, Mindy, as the Rucker food and beverage. We need to add in, it's zeroed out in Fab and Park General.
Okay.
So,
What does that number need to be? I thought we increased it, actually. I thought we,
but it's not in either one of them.
okay. Was it 10?
It was 5, and that wasn't enough.
Yeah, so I thought we increased it to 10.
10.
So I know the revenues aren't real high for Rucker Food and Beverage this year, probably. but
Right now, it's 11,000, but we've still got,
Did we put that back into the Park General or into the food, or into the Rucker?
Park General.
We put it into Park General?
Yeah.
But revenues did.
Right now, concessions for Rucker's 11,370, but we still have,
Was the
Fall.
actual revenue last year, this past summer? Or that was the budgeted amount?
that was the revenue
Actual
for
revenue.
this year, yeah.
moving
So
forward-
far,
But we
so
paid
far.
Forward, the idea is, just like the pool, just like campground, it runs right back into it.
Yeah, so we fed it back into Park General this year instead of feeding it into the Rucker.
Correct.
Yes, there was no budget for Rutgers
budget,
last
but
year.
revenue.
Right, but the revenue, I think,
It
believe is
goes into
coming in.
Park General, yeah.
But the other ones were putting the revenue back into their own
Yes,
funds.
yes, revenue.
Yeah,
and
we haven't
expense.
used the Rucker NRO at all.
Should we start using it? Maybe this year's too
We
late.
tried, and we just didn't have enough.
I'd say once they
Start tracking.
start producing, I mean, it's kind of just a break even, not even that, and then I can't really move money to fix it if it's not enough.
Once we get to football, we'll have a better idea, and our feet will be under us at Rucker, where we can, establish itself.
Can I ask about the Crystal Beach budget? I don't see where the numbers add up to 376 on the 2027 proposed.
Josh, can I have one more question before we jump to that one?
Yeah, I just want to go
Okay.
to Rucker also. We can put additional lines. So if you wanted to do like an appropriation line in Parks General or in the Fab, we can put an additional line just for Rucker.
They are there, we
For
just didn't.
concession.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
there, we just
Okay, I
don't
was gonna
have
say,
any
we're
money
happy
in
to
it.
do that for revenue line and appropriation line in either one of those funds for you.
Yes. So even
Yeah.
if we
The
don't
line is there, we just
budget
didn't-
out of Rucker, can we put the revenues into Rucker so that we
We
start
can-
seeing that?
We can stick the revenues in Park General and make a revenue line just for
Revenue
Rucker.
line.
Right.
Yeah, and I would just add that, if we adopt this park investment plan, we'll be setting up all of those accounts for 2027, because it'll be really, really important, as Tony alluded to. There'll be a new operating model for Rucker, so it's, no longer just gonna be a park that doesn't generate a whole lot of revenue. It's got a whole new operating model if we make the investment in it, so that will necessitate the creation of a park operating, or a Rucker operating account. Yeah.
Sorry, Josh, go to your question now.
Into
No, I answered my own question. I looked at it. It looked like 2026, the salary for that wasn't actually into the total. So that's what was missing. That's why it just wasn't adding up. It looked like we were going to jump more than 100% in the proposed amount, but that's not true. The salary's not adding into the total on the 2026 approved budget. So that was going to be my question with it. That was it. But I answered it.
in terms of operating accounts as well, we will be coming to you here this fall, working with Christian and the mayor and Tanya here to develop an operating plan for the Bicentennial Park, Indiana Music City's amphitheater. So that has not been included. We're just now starting to put those numbers. So there'll be some additional opportunities in that moving forward as well. We do have great community support. We will be announcing some of those sponsorships that we hope will cover most of those expenses, as well as some other revenue sources from the amphitheater. So just,
Are you saying there'll be additions to the budget for the maintenance of?
there will be some additions to the budget as a part of the operation plan for the Bicentennial Park.
Okay.
So I just want to make everybody aware of that.
Do you have ballpark figure?
Leave your mic so we can get it.
Mine's on, isn't it? Okay. Ballpark figure for that, just random. Not gonna hold you to it. But you know how clueless I am about finances.
Well, I know.
When
I
it
hate
comes to that kind of stuff.
So, so it'll be tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay,
But the
so,
revenue will offset any expenses is the plan. And it could create revenue for
Is the
maintenance and
plan.
operations.
okay, so while we're talking about that.
Yes.
Like we used to support VMI and we eliminated that a few years ago. Lucy was reminding me. I'm looking at the, and I talked to my two colleagues here.
Carla?
I'm on food and beverage,
Food and beverage, okay.
the Main Street organization. I'm wondering if we could consider reducing that to a point, like, that's kind of what we did with VMI, like support less, until those organizations are supporting themselves. I'm not saying don't support them. We're making cuts. We're looking for, money to run Bicentennial when it's fixed. Could that be an area that we might consider just reducing the support, not eliminating it?
Start to wean them off of government funding.
I not favor that. Madison Main Street's an important economic development organization. There is a significant amount of planning that has to be done for the continued revitalization of Main Street. If you look at other communities, this is, I think, a fair but a nominal amount for us to contribute for the organization. Unlike VMI, VMI is very heavily funded by the innkeeper tax. Main Street isn't.
Yeah.
So
I
I think we're at a healthy amount that hasn't really changed much in a decade
Main
or
Street's
longer.
a critical organization in this community. We rely on them throughout this town to plan and to execute, curate,
Recruit.
and recruit our Main Street shops. And so I would hope not to see any reduction in that. At the end of the day, somebody's got to do it, and they do a great job with managing that.
Is there any kind of data on kind of our actual return that we get from them? Businesses they have attracted versus what's gone out, and are there just kind of a list of what we do get from them? I'd be interested in seeing that.
We can, they hosted.
Emily's
they
on the
hosted.
board.
Emily's on the board. She can come up and speak to that. But
They have an annual report
Yeah.
that they put out every year. That could be information we can draw from to figure out if we're getting our ROI.
yeah, thank you.
Is that
on
what you were going to say, Emily?
No, I will just second what the mayor and Tony said. I think they're a vital part of the community. I will say I am on the board, and we are pretty heavily focused on this coming year for 27. Also for the Main Street Board, trying to kind of look at their funding sources and basically how they get their sponsorships and stuff. And so we're hoping to kind of diversify our funding as well. Not to say at all that they want to lose the city support. I think they greatly rely on the city support. We're hoping to kind of go after maybe some bigger corporations and get some bigger funders. But like Lucy said, they do an annual report every year that talks about all those things. And so I can get that for you guys. I'm pretty sure it's available on their website actually, but I can also send that to you. And if there's anything else, they do quarterly reporting for Indiana Main Street. So they track investment numbers. We give them some of that stuff from the planning department office. So there's a lot of internal reporting that they have to do just to qualify for their accreditations with Indiana Main Street and the National Main Street. So all that being said, there is data out there, and if you want anything, we can try to get it for you. So
And I think one data point too is, let's pull the Placer AI. I mean, you're not
Yeah.
the 2025 national recipient of the Greatest American Main Street without, doing the right things to bring, tourism to our community as well as economic development with small businesses. And I mean, it's an important organization in my mind.
Yeah, we have Placer data for. We'll pull that for you for the core of Main Street, which is Broadway to Jefferson, and then we've got the West End as well. That information is provided to Main Street. I would say that everything that they're doing and leading would have to fall on others if they aren't as an organization, and would likely fall many of those things to the city, like farmers market and other things like that would fall to us to coordinate. And an economic development standpoint, they have a committee that's working on that. And, we rely heavily on them so we can focus on larger industry and other larger redevelopment projects. in and around town. Doesn't mean we don't help. Don, the Mexican restaurant, is something that we work through our office closely with the Main Street program. I would also say that, they've taken the lead on the second story rehab component, which is a very important part to any housing strategy, but it's very slow and time consuming, and so they've taken that on. They had a major workshop recently with a national recognized consultant to lead that.
I do want to jump in and say I support Madison Main Street program. I agree for a lot of those reasons. You guys went over a lot of them, and tourism is definitely a huge thing for us. And I don't want to jeopardize that because we're getting penny wise and pound foolish a little bit on it. And I know we got to cut places, but I think this would be a bad place to do that.
How many people are on the board?
I'd say roughly 12, give or
So
take.
for $50,000, you're getting a pretty good group of people that help prevent the saturation rate of our economic development, which I think is that's a key point right there. That's a return right there, in my opinion. Because
Well,
if it's going to saturate personnel at the city and they're achieving these things, then I don't see why that force of people.
And I think that our financial participation is probably less than a fourth of their budget.
Yeah.
We have done a good job of shifting expenses from a tax levy so that we can support general services over to these other revenues that we created. So this isn't an expense that's being, factored into a tax rate.
Matter of fact, it is sort of being shifted, right? So it is
It
being
is
cut
shifted,
out of general
yeah.
property tax revenue or general obligation into the food and beverage, which is intended to support economic development and parks.
And I think that's a good shift. When we talked about food and beverage a couple decades ago, that was one of the original intents, that tax would go to tourism, to supporting the base of tourism, which the heart of the community is
Main Street.
Is Main Street. And I don't think anyone's disputing the organization's value.
Right.
I think what we're saying, what we were having a little side conversation, was that being more self-sufficient is crucial for any nonprofit.
And I would agree with that.
And so 20 years ago, when I was on the board and we asked for funding, we did receive funding from the city. So we're talking about 25-year commitment to helping that organization. So we're talking more about being more self-sufficient, diversifying where you're getting your revenue from, is what you were saying, Emily, your board is trying to do. So it sounds like everybody's moving in the right direction.
Yeah, having served on a couple of the ad hoc committees with them recently, I think, they are working really hard to focus on economic development and recruitment and curating, and those are really important extensions of the economic development program here at the city to continue to do that. Again, if it wasn't being done, someone else here would have to do that. And then I'd look to the mayor. I don't think that $50,000 has increased in a number of years.
It was 40 for a long
Yeah, so
time.
I mean, I don't know,
So
it's been 50 since I've been here, so
Yeah.
again, 20 years has gone by, they've created additional revenue, they have 2 full-time employees. I mean, so they're creating additional revenue that's coming in beyond the 50 for
Right.
sure, it really hasn't increased.
I would recommend that your board also look at the innkeeper's tax and how your organization can benefit from working with the Jefferson County Board of Tourism to make that organization reach its next level too.
Yeah, and I think that's a great suggestion. As we know, that revenue is continuing to increase at a pretty good clip. And with the addition of
It
the
makes
new
sense.
hotel, there'll be additional revenue here coming in the next 3 or 4 years. So I think that's a good suggestion for
It
them to
makes
consider
sense,
too.
Before we move on from FAB, I just wanted to make general comment about revenue for FAB. So this year, just as a reminder, we're only going to collect 10 months of revenue because of the way it's collected. It's due at month end, so if it's due January 31st, it's due to be reported end of February. We won't receive it until March, so we will miss 2 months of revenue this year. So next year, we'll get all 12 months. I'm comfortable with this budgeted amount in FAB, even though it's up from this year. We will not collect the full 17 that we budgeted this year, but we are being very careful about spending in that. So we will not overspend what we receive for this year, but for next year, I'm comfortable with that number. That's about 67 a month, and we're already up to like 62, 63 a month. So I think next year we'll hit 67 a month comfortably. So I just wanted you to know, I think I'm good with that number.
Thank you for that point.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Item line 312, Heritage Trail Conservancy, something to think about. We've been giving them 25,000 for a very long time too, and we've doubled the assets down there. So we have a lot to take care of and maintain. Of course, it's all new now, but at some point, we need to look at that item line and how that works. Are they a 501 C3?
They're a
C3.
Yeah.
I think they're a C3.
I think so.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you talking about increasing that eventually?
Maybe, or
Yeah, I mean-
if they're self-sustaining, then fine. Maybe that 25 is.
It's one of those we kind of look at
right.
like Springdale, where
Yeah.
we don't want it, so we're happy to contribute.
Yeah. But is it not impacted by the recent Heritage Trail additions?
I mean, they are
Correct.
maintaining the trail. I don't know about the assets that we've added to it.
Well, there's certainly going to need to be a capital plan for, replacing cracked asphalt or maintaining that. And then also, the weeding, we have a meeting, I think either later this week or next week on the weeding around there. And they're currently still recovering from the tornado in June. But yes, anytime we add park assets, there's going to be eventually more park maintenance to plan for. And we are planning for more of that maintenance, $100,000 of that, food and beverage tax collection is going to go towards increased park maintenance.
So I said feed the bear back there. I don't know what's happening. Can we run through Crystal and Camp and Sunrise real quick?
Sure.
Do Crystal.
Where's that at in the tab here? Is that toward,
They're
toward the back?
very roughly alphabetical. I got tired.
Oh, roughly alphabetical. Okay.
Yeah, he's great. All the parks are together under the Parks tab.
So I just want to say how well Crystal's doing. Mindy pulled up income today, and we've brought in as much to date as we had all of last season. So we've still got another month that we're open, and we have greatly reduced the payroll cost. So the first year we were open after the remodel, in 2024, we spent $240,994 in payroll. And this year to date, which didn't include the payroll we just had this week, we've spent $125,000. So
Good job.
we have increased income and decreased expenses. Yeah. Right now.
All about the Dippin' Dots.
It is. We've sold a lot of Dippin' Dots. Yeah, the expenses year to date are 204 and the income is 283. So we're in a great position to finish out the season.
And I would just say that every mayor who attended the Mayor's Roundtable could not believe that we had a pool that broke even and made money. They were subsidizing.
10 mayors there, and they said, we want one of these.
We want one of these.
Well,
How do we do this?
Hunter Hall helps greatly. So all of the income that we receive from Hunter Hall goes in this NRO for Crystal Beach, and that makes a huge difference. Grey Watch has helped us extend the season for sure.
But and I'll just emphasize too, intentionally what we've done is moved operating expenses off of the property tax levy into their NRO, and they're really focused on improving NRO for each one of these main park assets, which is Sunrise and Campground and Crystal Beach. And these things are helping us make these new investments in parks. Yep.
So Tanya, how were you able to lower so much the chemicals, the food and drink? Did you relocate that to food?
We
and-
had to increase chemicals. I'm not sure where you see
Yeah,
lower.
chemicals is 70.
70.
from
Oh,
35.
you're right, I did. I was
Well,
looking at
and
7,000, my
that
bad.
35 was a decreased amount because we had leftover chemicals from the first year,
Yeah.
so.
Right, I
we're-
knew
You had a
that.
surplus.
No,
we
I thought
did.
it was 7,000 because the
Oh,
comma wasn't
no,
in
it's
there.
70.
Yeah,
Those commas are important.
they are.
Sorry. Little details get blurry.
No,
when
that's
I'm
okay.
doing
No,
all
I
these.
get it.
They've increased their facility expenses a little bit just because they're,
Maintenance,
after
I
a
mean.
full season or two, they know what it takes, so. And I think we're good on this estimated amount based on their revenue. I think it will sustain itself.
Is this the part where we tell Tanya and her team that they just knocked it out of the park?
Yes,
With
that is the
Dippin' Dots.
part.
Okay.
You know, it takes a
Bad dad joke.
village. It's
Okay.
really all the people there. Christian doing the maintenance, like the team running we just have a phenomenal team. Done a great job. Brett's done a phenomenal job too with the scheduling and really watching the payroll. I mean, we have to watch it, and the weather affects it so much that it's really paying attention. Hey, bad weather, send people home, and you just have to stay on top of it. And she's done a phenomenal job doing that. So kudos to her as well.
The baseball season, softball season definitely went much better
Good.
in the last
Good
few
to hear.
years. Still,
Yeah. She's a keeper. She's a keeper.
still have a lot to do to boost enrollment because the teams, the 3 years of ages on the same team was tough. But do what you gotta do.
We've got plans and people in place to bring that, keep the momentum going.
Yeah, like I said, did everything you could, but as long as hopefully we get more numbers next year and don't have 6, 7, and 8-year-olds playing together. And some of the other ones were even worse. Some of them were 4 years or 5 years of separation. I know that's tough, but you guys did what you could. Brett did what you could. Zach and PJ.
Can we jump to campground real quick? That's easy one.
Yeah.
They're our money maker and our low cost to operate, so they're always
sure.
easy. And we did bump their budget just a little bit.
Well, and our revenue we're at 170,000.
Yeah.
890. It's hard to read those small letters.
I
but-
think it's usually 175 or more.
Yeah, and that's just, to date.
Yes. So
Earlier in the month.
we bumped the maintenance operation utility lines a little bit. They might be able to help us out if we run short somewhere else, so we bumped those numbers.
And they do, our plan this year, you already did that transfer, right, of that 100,000 from campground is for some of the maintenance at Crystal, painting the pool and
And it'll
some of
be,
those
I think
big
we have to do it as an additional appropriation, so it's on the list.
But it definitely helps us with our other facilities.
Over the years, we've talked about keeping the assets in one location and then improving that location. So that's evolved into using it at other facilities, correct?
After the flood, we did make some improvements down
Yeah.
there. The mayor can speak to the long-term planning down there, but we did make quite a bit of improvements after that flood.
Like we have all new fire pit things, or at least half of them are brand new. What else did we improve down there with our budget?
Ceiling was asphalt, sod was all done.
Oh yeah, all new sod, because all the
2 years
water.
ago, we did the 2 staircases from the lower level up to the top.
But I mean, even this year, we've made improvements.
It's good.
But I mean,
Eventually, it'll have to be in a capital plan because there's gonna need to be, new bathrooms, for example, new different types of sewer hookups, more power there. But, we're not yet ready to talk about a $2 million campground project.
So eventually, what is going to be part of the capital plan
Eventually, the campground will have to be part of a capital plan.
to take the money and profits that we make off the campgrounds and put them back into the campground?
That as well
Right.
as there's probably another 8 or 9. I mean, we're gonna talk about hopefully 3 or 4 of them today, but there's another 8 or 9
Okay.
that have to be supported through a future capital investment. That campground bathrooms.
but Lucy's right. We did
Yeah.
create those NROs
Yeah.
to try to keep the money in the category. That was our initial thinking. It's just that we've had to, with the pool, we've had to make some exceptions.
And we're lucky to have it available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sunrise?
Real quick, the credit card fee line, are those fees not being charged to the people who book?
They are, but we still have to allocate somewhere to pay them.
Okay, so
Yes.
they pay on top of what they, but then
They do.
that all
It's-
comes to us.
It's a
and then
wash,
gotta-
but we still have to appropriate it to
Okay.
spend it.
Gotcha.
No, we do. I don't think Sunrise charges their credit card fees, but the campground does.
They should be.
That's been a discussion with Roger and the board, not wanting to, but
So,
agree.
we don't have to get too deep into it, but that goes back to the question I sent a while back about the TSO, actually, I think it was, that what is our cost for handling cash and depositing that money and having somebody run to the bank and the loss and theft that occurs? Not an individual person, of course, but just in general, loss and theft occurs with cash compared to those credit card fees. Do we have any idea that it's lower than the credit card fee?
It's such a nominal amount, I haven't even gone back to kind of look at it like that, Josh, because, you know, the people that are going to the bank, making the deposits, coming down here, I'm not sure they're going to the bank, they're bringing they're bringing it to City Hall,
So then somebody counts it down here, though. and
are already
labor.
they're already being paid. I mean, we already have that cost in their day. Yeah, I don't know.
But they're spending hours on doing it, right? I mean, or minutes or hours, whatever, added up over the course of the year. And there is a cost associated with handling cash, both in terms of the processing it and depositing it, but also the loss and
I mean,
the risk of theft.
are you making a recommendation on something? I don't.
Do we really want to be just encouraging people to spend cash as opposed to using a credit card or other alternative forms? So by charging the fee, we are encouraging people to use cash or checks, which then have to
Well,
be
we're giving it
processed.
the
and
option.
handled.
I mean, they're paying a convenience fee if they use an option other than paying cash, for example.
Is it in the city's best interest instead to encourage the credit card payments because there is less risk of loss, there's less processing labor required? Do we actually spend less money if we didn't charge a credit card
I
fee?
can answer some of that.
We did try a little bit of that at the transfer station. When we upped the rates, we stopped accepting cash up there and then very
We
quickly had
reversed it.
I'm
to.
not saying stop accepting cash, but if we don't charge the credit card processing fee, if you bury it within the operating costs, just like every other merchant does, right? Walmart doesn't charge a fee to spend a credit card at Walmart. They roll it in whether you spend cash or credit card.
I haven't
They've
seen it
made-
deter anybody,
We
really.
made the determination that it's better to accept the card with no fee.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We pass those fees on to the consumer. Those aren't fees that we absorb.
We don't pass the cost of processing cash on.
Hey, we could take that into consideration the next time we look at our TSO fees.
I think you would
Which I
have.
think maybe
I
will be
can
next
just-
year.
I can speak on this for our department. It's all state board regulated. If it's cash or credit card, it still is the same amount of processing. So it's a report of collections. It's someone up there entering into Key Fund. It's not a really big difference. We still have to collect the sales tax and do all the same reporting, whether it's cash or credit card. So hopefully that helps. I'm not
But
sure if that's
you're
what
right,
the
you can,
question is.
I mean, we want to roll it in next time we,
So the TSO decision was reversed. We now take cash there.
we accept all. I don't even think it's illegal not to accept cash. So,
I'm not suggesting
Yeah.
not suggesting cash or taking cash. I just know your normal merchants don't charge you a credit card fee. Your
they embed
Walmarts,
it.
your-
They're doing what you
they're
said,
embedded.
is they embed it and they charge you a higher price.
They've decided in their business case that it's better to not charge an additional fee. Plus, the credit card companies come back and slap their hands at times because it's part of their agreements. But they've
We are
decided
giving,
that it's
we are
better
giving
for
our
them.
consumer a choice versus taking it away from them. We can look at it a bunch of ways. I mean, it will have such a nominal impact on everything. And I don't think it will reduce, our risk of loss.
Yeah, and from our department, it's the
Yeah.
same amount of work, same volume.
I understand your point though, about, encouraging credit card transactions.
Okay, Tanya, I know there were increases in Sunrise. Can you talk through those real quickly? Just the operational increases?
Sure, it's just the age of our facility and equipment. And chemicals were increased quite a bit too. And Christian's here, so he can speak to more of that, but.
I've always gone over budget. We've never budgeted enough for chemicals at the golf course. We've ran into a couple of different pests that we've ran into that we've had to do additional sprays. And it's either budget for it or just eat it. And I'm not gonna bore you with the details, but we've had an infestation of local pests that's made its way in here. It hasn't been here, it's here now, and we gotta deal with it, or it's gonna eat the golf course.
So you're saying the increase that we see is mainly in chemicals, so that we have enough?
Well, and
And
we've got
repairs.
aging equipment that we're gonna have to replace.
Repairs and maintenance. We've had a couple bridges that we've had to repair,
What's the pest?
irrigation.
The weevil?
Bluegrass weevil. It's made its way from the north to the south, and it eats POA. We have a lot of POA.
But also the revenue, I mean, their budget's 400,000.
That's not right. Oh. This year it's 609. Is it because we moved the,
We moved the salaries out, so 400,000, he will meet that in revenue. Their budget's much higher than that this year, and he's
Uh-huh.
gonna meet it, so I'm not worried about 400,000 for him.
Just so you all know on equipment costs, this past year, we replaced a tractor and gang mower, which is $120,000 used, and we replaced it with a $40,000 belly mower. That's the plan moving forward. We don't need. We're being smarter about what equipment we do purchase. There's some specialized equipment we have to have. A fairway unit, a spray unit, we've got to have, and those are 80 grand a piece. They're specialized equipment, you can't do something else.
I do want to give kudos to Christian and the maintenance guys at Sunrise as well. The course is beautiful, and surrounding courses are dying and just don't look good. I mean, they do a phenomenal job keeping the course looking great.
Bill Terrace lives in Greens.
What is our
Sands lives
expected,
in Greens.
what's our expected revenue this year? Do we have an estimate?
What is it now?
What is it expected to be, or what is it now?
640 is what we need, right? Or 609? We're at year-to-date, 315, 731.
So the budget of last year was 360, right?
It was
No.
higher than that. It's
No,
the,
6-something.
yeah, it was 600.
609, there it is.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
around 610, I think,
Yeah.
but, and he met it last year, but we fudged it a little bit because we did some transfers to help, but.
Well, and at the end of the year, November, December, we do sales of season passes, so we have a large chunk of income come in at the end of the year.
So he's got the rest of August, September, and October, which are great golf months. And then he'll have his end of season sales, which I forget was over $100,000 he brought in, right?
Yeah.
So,
Outings are on the rise. We have a lot of outside groups showing interest. We're doing a marketing campaign right now to take advantage of the other places around us dying off. Come play Sunrise.
Yeah, there's several different groups that are coming from other courses and playing just because they're in such bad shape.
Are so all of the Sunrise expenses are captured here, or not?
We moved some equipment to Fab.
I don't think this covers, I don't think payroll and benefits is in this tab, right?
Sunrise
There's some.
is in their park, I think.
Okay, so most of Sunrise salaries and benefits is all in the parks.
Parks General.
So, Christian, do you have an estimate? How much do we spend mowing every year? How many hours or dollars for Sunrise and for the Rucker and,
Are you talking employees? Like,
yeah, employee
In-
hours and what that turns into in dollars? Is it over 100,000? Is it 200,000?
It's the majority. The majority of what I do is labor. I mean, if you took my total budget up, it would probably be 70-30.
You do a lot more than mow, though.
Yeah. I mean, spray wise at the golf course, the majority of the time is mowing.
Okay.
Really, the majority of the time, what do we do other, I mean, you take the DLC girls out of it. Most of what we do is labor, whereas for mowing, 70-30 split, I would guess. Yeah, 60-40-ish.
So I guess,
The majority.
yeah, a couple months ago, I said, half jokingly, but sent you that robot mower. I don't know if you ever looked at that email.
I did.
I'm not saying go buy a robot mower, don't get me wrong. That was a $150,000 robot mower, but it's 6 feet wide. It's made for mowing turf farms and stuff, but they're adapting them for
there's,
golf
the
courses.
golf industry's saturated. I can
That's what I was
spray with a
wondering.
drone.
How much have you looked at?
I have.
New,
It's very expensive, but it
new technology in general to make sure we're doing things in an efficient
Yes.
way, right?
we've, I mean, I've had my sales rep, we've talked about it.
Okay.
I've had a remote control, I've demoed a remote control mower for the riverfront. I mean, it's there.
So you've been keeping your eyes on that technology.
Absolutely. I hate when they talk to me about it because it puts all my guys out of work, but it's something it's something that could feasibly be done. Normally, it's for properties that maintain 4 to 5 golf courses. I don't know if it'd be feasible just for Sunrise. I mean, it would be a very expensive.
Well, I know if that Rucker could be in there too. I'm not really zooming in on the robot mower thing. If there's a
No,
technology in general.
it is certainly, it's up and coming, and in 20 years from now, it's going to be the thing to do. And most big golf courses and big properties are using it.
As long as you're keeping your eyes on it and you've got your finger on the pulse of things. So
What was the actual revenue for 2025? Do you guys have an idea? I know we're going 2 years back, but,
I can get it for you.
okay. Do we know what,
That was probably around, what do you think, 550,000?
It's in that ballpark.
Yeah.
okay.
It normally costs around $600,000 to operate the golf course, and we've reduced essentially a $400,000 annual deficit down to zero, and this is going to be a really good year. Last year was a slightly above break even, and this will be a better year.
That's a pretty good, the 550 was
Yeah.
pretty good.
And the approved budget for 2026, it states 360, but it technically
610.
isn't.
Yeah. I've got my 26 book. I know some of you do too. If anybody
I know
needs
it's
any
moved around, but my capacity, it's hard for me to make an informed,
609.
decisions on that if I can't. What was it?
609.
Yeah, I think that's just a good observation, and we got to grasp whether we want to do this. But in our quest to simplify the processing and save the administration time of payroll and benefits, it's very, very difficult to do a year-over-year comparison.
Yeah.
And, part of my concern about doing that I've expressed to them is, as we get through the course of the year, when we really want to measure each department's performance, we're going to have an ability to go grab that information from another budget and pull it back in and assimilate the information to see in real time whether or not we're satisfying a department budget. I'm not totally there yet. We're here to present it that way because it does take an enormous amount of time and Shirley can elaborate on that much more articulately than I can. It takes a long time to process a payroll.
Well, and
So
kudos
we're
to you
saving
guys.
on one side and
Yeah.
creating more work on the other.
And
Yeah.
maybe this is a self-interest, but it really helps me to see what the revenue was, and if we're justifying a budget going up, what's the net gain, what's the net loss? That helps me really quick understand how do I weigh that informed decision-making process, because, we're looking at a proposed amount to rise, $40,000. And this may be a misnomer, but the expected revenue is the same as the amount proposed.
Well, Councilman, I want to draw your attention to the fact that, these budgets are really organized. Everything is organized to comply with DLGF and get it into Gateway, get your notice to taxpayers, get your ordinances done. That's why what you see here, all the appropriations are really focused on what are you spending. They know how much revenue we have. What they're going to do is analyze how much of that are you spending, and are you collecting enough revenue to afford your budget? For us, on our purposes, you have to go to this summary sheet, and then under each budget, you see the source of the revenue and what that total revenue is. And that
Okay.
kind of will give you the comparison. And unfortunately, when you look at our budget book, you're seeing it formatted for the way DLGF wants it, so it can be assimilated for transparency purposes with the public. But you have to look at this global sheet that Mindy prepares that shows all the revenue attached to each appropriation of a department.
Yeah, that's a better
Understood.
place.
Yeah.
Because on the NROs, as you mentioned, when it's self-sustaining, which is what we want our NROs to be, if I know for sure I can go back and look at a 10-year history of revenue, and if it looks like they're gonna trend higher than what the budget is, I'll put that higher number in, but if not, I'm not gonna present you a budget that I don't think they can meet, for one
Right.
thing. So if I don't know that they are gonna go over that, I will match the revenue to what the budget, just to say to you, we believe they can do this.
Okay. Thanks, Mindy.
any more for parks? Can we let them go? Thank you. Are you hungry now or hungry in 20 minutes?
We
Okay.
can grab and go back and keep talking. Well, if they want me to do it, I was gonna do it toward the end, if they want me to. You know. Chuck. Police and fire. That's big budget. Huh? Huh? Do we even have to talk about it? I'll answer any questions. if they want.
Can we just do airport real quick? Because I don't think
I mean, if they have any questions on it.
Yeah.
Because eventually we'll have to go back and just start turning pages. You have any questions on this, this, this?
Right, right. I just want to let people go if they, I don't want to make them sit here the whole time.
Hey, Connie, make that add on parks. Probably a park board meeting.
Crystal, Sunrise, Parks General.
Here, I'll give you a little eye candy.
Are you gonna do it at the next park board? In September, or
It's okay with me.
September 2nd is our next park board?
At least that much.
Give you a little eye
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more this year.
Just distributed differently.
Hey, thanks for clarifying.
Sorry.
No,
It's
no,
confusing.
I understand what you're saying. We're balancing the budget, but there are times where I think I'd like to get with everybody and look at that, you know what I mean, to figure that out. Because when we get into voting for, moving budgets and allocating funds, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, you want to know, you got the revenue to cover what you're telling us you're spending.
Yeah.
And, it's, these formats that we have to use are just archaic. There you go. That's the punchline. I have a whole presentation that gets us there. Hey, bud. Oh, here, I got a little eye candy for you too. There you go. I'm not sure we'll do the park presentation tonight if they have time, but if not, I'm gonna cover the park presentation. But there's some eye candy. I have a whole presentation, but that's the money. The money. You're welcome. Yeah, good. For Ruppin. What's that? What you got? What you got? What you need 5.5 million? You gotta go raise $1 million. Well, on top of the $500,000, we already said we're gonna raise. Oh.
Josh, you're missing food.
We're gonna do,
When we get reassembled, I want to make another quick comment about the food and beverage tax.
sure. Airport
We've got,
is next, and honestly, their budget's pretty simple.
Josh gets back.
So let's tee up airport, and they have two. They have their general budget and they have an NRO budget.
Is that in alphabetical order too?
In your book, yes,
Oh, yeah.
aviation is all together.
Yeah, as soon as we get the council back up here. First, I have to try this pesto pasta. Yum. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy John's. Wow, that's good. Just want to make one additional comment on food and beverage, particularly as it relates to tourism. You know, our primary tourism partners are VMI and Madison Main Street. Those are the kind of the hubs of tourism in our community, and I think everybody here would agree that tourism is growing. Our numbers are exceptional, and we depend on a lot of volunteers and volunteer organizations and all of their volunteers for the probably 50 to 60 different events that happen across our community every year. I think Councilman Tevenall asked a good question, which is what's our return on our investment? And maybe that's a consistent theme here. And you know, as we're taking a break and kind of digesting what we've been talking about, the form of revenue that is a direct return on investment from tourism is the innkeeper tax and now the food and beverage tax. And so here, as it relates to VMI and Massa Main Street, you know, we were only given a nominal amount to VMI, and as innkeeper tax grew, they were being more and more supported by the innkeeper tax. And as you remember, we sponsored a resolution and helped assist with getting the innkeeper tax increase from 5% to 8%, because strategically, we wanted the innkeeper tax to be more effective across the organization and not only support the operations of events, but support the significant capital investment that's necessary, that's predominantly borne by the city of Madison across the city that supports tourism. So I want to bring it into this, which is the $800,000 we're projecting for 2027 is a direct result of those efforts for tourism, and between 30 and 40% of that food and beverage tax is paid by people here who are tourists. So that's approximately, you know, almost $250,000 to $300,000 of revenue we're creating each year directly from the efforts of tourism. We all have to do our part, and we're doing our part with regard to the capital investment and supporting organizationally. So that $50,000 in context of the $300,000 attributable to tourism and food and beverage tax, I think is demonstrating a good return on investment. And then on top of that, as you've seen with the innkeeper tax and our partnership with Jefferson County Board of Tourism, you know, they're now contributing toward city initiatives that promote tourism, the hotel, the park, the amphitheater, our park investment strategy that we're doing. So there's hundreds of thousands of dollars, in fact millions of dollars that's in that strategic plan that's directly coming from tourism. So I just wanted to throw that out there for consideration, that we are getting a really good return on investment with our partnerships with these organizations.
Well,
We digest that more when we talk about it.
And to add to that, both organizations have different reports that they do that can provide that data and information about return on investment that they should probably be reporting to us quarterly or annually or biannually.
I know Andrew comes here and gives an annual
Right,
report.
right.
We could do the same thing with JCBT. And also, I don't want to leave out the Chamber of Commerce, because
Right.
they're doing a really good job of business recruitment and offering benefits for small businesses and really focusing on the small business community.
I
And
agree.
that's a very specialized area. And as Tony made the point earlier, if they're not doing it, then somebody has to do it. And in most instances, that's going to end up falling on the city. So those collaborations are enormous.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to add to that, the city, our job is to provide an environment for businesses, tourism,
100%.
everything to be successful. So if innkeeper's tax invests in that, if we get money from food and beverage to improve Madison, it not only takes care of our visitors, it takes care of the people that live here.
Right.
So we have a duty to keep everything nice, tidy, clean, safe, and beautiful, all the above.
I agree. Thank you. Now, we'll go to aviation, see if there are any questions on aviation. You want to, I know that, you know, one of the big things here is just the increased match for the AIP and your capital projects. To me, that's the big thing. And I don't know if Mindy talked to you or not, but we probably need a rotary fund budget. Anyway, you want to give a comment on the AIP and grant match line item?
Yeah, so the grant match is going to be for our runway project that we've got next year. We thought it was going to happen this fall. We've been working since basically February. The FAA asked if we could get the runway project done this year. We basically kind of shot from the hip, said this is what we would need to do. Our engineers worked pretty hard. We did a design bid and even awarded the bid let's see, I think we started in February. We got the bids out in May. We received the bids in June. We got that packaged at the June meeting, board UAC meeting, and then we got the basically all of our paperwork in July 1st, and then I think July 2nd or 3rd, they actually announced the grant that we were going to get. So we were able to get not only the runway project, which is probably the most significant runway project we've ever had since the airport opened. So when the airport opened in 1964, the middle part of the runway is still the original runway, and then we've had 2 expansions over the years, plus a widening. This is basically going to pulverize that entire runway in place. It's not an expansion, it's not a widening, it's basically just taking that Frankenstein version we've got where it's different pieces, and we're making it all one great big slab. And then it'll also build up the subgrade, so we'll be able to get larger aircraft, heavier aircraft in. So it should build up our weight, that we could get up to about 81,000 pounds. I don't know what the calculations will be here soon, but I'm going to say probably in the ballpark of 100,000 pounds. So that'll be a pretty good help for future projects as we get further in, and if we ever do an expansion, that would be beneficial there. The project's going to come to about $4.3 million. The good thing is we got the project done fiscal year 2026 as far as funding goes. So that means that the FAA pays for 95% of that, and then we pay 2.5 and the state pays 2.5. Had it pushed till next year and hit fiscal year 27, then we would have paid 5%. So we saved basically a little over $100,000 by getting it done getting it funded this year. The reason it's not going to be done this fall is after we awarded it, we talked to the contractor, and given the nature of trying to get everything ordered, we were able to get a lighting project in there as well. So our runway lights, so when I started, we had just done the taxiway lights, the LED taxiway lights, the first year I was in, and we're now going to do LED lights for the runway lights. So that'll be a little bit of an electrical savings, but that we were able to sneak that in. That'll allow us to clear up our capital improvement plan so that we can start on our master plan, which is how we figure out where the airport wants to go for the next 10, 20 years. So that'll be next on the capital improvement plan. So that's kind of where we're at, but that's what the grant match is we're needing to budget for that significant amount. We'll also be shut down for 60 days. So that's a hard shutdown for 60 calendar days. So we are going to have fuel losses as far as revenue goes for fixed wing aircraft. However, we will still have the medical helicopter and power line patrol, that sort of stuff. We're also going to try to see if we get some military aircraft in and do some fuel sales on that, so we're not a total loss. So, but it will hurt without the jets and stuff. So,
And you've factored that 60-day closure of the air? We've attempted to do that. I mean, obviously, we're at the mercy of what you guys want to handle for us that year, because that's a significant amount of revenue. We figured about $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Since it's going to happen, it was going to happen in July is when they picked. So it's right in the middle of flying season, but it's also the best ideal conditions for us to get good subgrade, good dry subgrade, and be able to get in and get some of that curing processes they need to do to get the runway built up. So,
with that build up and that capacity for weight, what's the largest fixed wing that you could get in?
so right now, so you can't count military, right? But you can do, so right now we can get Gulfstreams in, so we can get G5s, but they have to kind of watch their weight, so it's coming about 81,000 pounds. Anything over that, there's a certain percentage that they can be on, but we have to check the runway for damage. The biggest problem that we have is as our pavement numbers are, the taxiways are still kind of the older style stuff, so that's kind of next on the list. And then the apron, or where we park, we've got some concrete areas that we could park them on. So we just have to make sure that the weight, we're kind of building up the runway, then we're going to build up the taxiways, and we're going to build up the apron. But when we do get that runway done, we should be able to land a C-130 there. So it'd be kind of, yeah. I'm going to try to get one in. So they are interested. But I know they landed at North Vernon, but North Vernon had they'd had a pretty extensive runway thing happen, because they were milling their runway back in, I think it was 2015 or something, and the milling machine fell through the runway. So they were able to get extra money to build up their subgrade, and so they have a C-130 flying in there all the time. And so we're just been waiting for our turn.
Curiosity is, and I'm sure you guys explored it, I'd be interested to talk about it offline more, but what potential revenue could be gathered from military operations, especially if you're C-130 capable of landing jump operations, different insert platforms?
Jump operations, I'm not sure if we could do it because of the power lines we have around the area. Because, you know, with military, you can't really, I don't think you steer those as well. I think they just kind of drop out. But some of them, I'd be open to talking about it. I know that we've talked to the Blackhawks. We've had a V-22 Osprey in, I think, last year or
Is that the Marine Corps with the 22?
Navy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we've had the Blackhawks in. We had Chinooks in a few years ago, which is why I ended up. So we've got part of that the GSA access or excess that they have. I found out that airports can get donated to. So basically, we just pay shipping, or we just go pick it up. So that's why a lot of our equipment that we have is ex-military. So our telehandlers, we've got some tugs. Sometimes we'll get those from contractors, stuff like that. But we've got an R11 refueler, so 6,000 gallons, and we can pump it military fueling, so we can go up to 600 gallons a minute if we wanted to. So I know that Megan that works for us, she came out to help me one day. We were hot fueling Blackhawks. We were able to do 2 of them in 11 minutes. So that was from the time that we landed them. I hooked them up, fueled them, she built them from the truck, and then we got that guy out and then rinse and repeat. We did that in 11 minutes. And 600 gallons of fuel. So
How many gallons?
600.
That's amazing.
So it can go. They fuel a lot quicker, and it's nice because you just watch those numbers just go.
Yeah.
We also talked to our fuel contractor to see if we could get on the DLA contract fuel for the military. The problem with that is you have to have the highest ranking officer of whatever wing it is. They have to submit a letter to the DLA that tells them that we are mission critical. And then if enough people send that in, then the DLA will reach out to us, and then that's when they'll say, okay, do you want to do this? And then you get it for like 2 years, and you have to hit a certain mark, so it's like 100,000 gallons a year or something like that. And I think they kind of set the price. There's a few other quality control things we have to do as far as our fuel goes. And yeah, so we've tried. I've got the template. I've handed it to the officers. You know, find the highest ranking guy, just mark your name on here and send it to the DLA. We've tried that multiple times and nothing. So.
Well, I know that I believe there's an A-wing up in Lafayette, and then Louisville has
Louisville
a
has it,
reserve.
and Lunkin has it as well, as
Okay.
far as the DLA stuff.
Yeah.
And Columbus had it at one point. So.
Well, after this, not to belabor it, I'd like to stop by or something, see if I can't help liaise with bridging that, if
Absolutely.
possible.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do they get free rides on the Blackhawks? Can you?
We wish.
Joe, can you help that with that?
Yeah, you signed this 4-year contract.
Oh yeah.
We've been trying to get them. We've been trying to get them to the air.
Yeah.
When we had the air show and stuff, we tried to get them there, but because the air show always falls at the end of the fiscal year, we never can get them. So.
We did have a military aircraft last year, but
It was Lakota.
Got to shove it.
NRO?
Oh, NRO, yeah.
Nothing much to present unless you guys have questions on that one. Yeah, so we decreased the terminal line item there, and that's based upon our capital improvement plan that we've submitted through this office, but because this year is slated for the runway project, you know, most capital is going to have to be used there versus terminal improvements, which we have already conducted many of those. There's still more to do, but much of it has been done.
We're good?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Keep up the good work, guys.
All right, you wanna do fire or police next, Bob?
Doesn't matter to me.
All right, let's, Brandon, let's knock you out. Is your son?
No, he's with
He's all good. All right. Let's do fire general first. And fire is by itself, and then you'll turn to lit for the other part of theirs. And I don't think theirs went down because we moved Brandon's salary and benefits and stuff over to Common Council, and I don't think there's really any changes for their fire general budget. Brandon, is this the one that we need to pop back in?
So it would pop back in over on lit. We were trying to consolidate.
Okay. It's okay that those came out of general, but we need to add it back in lit. Okay.
Brandon, can you leave that microphone into you or
Sorry.
speak up, either one? Thank you.
So no real changes in their fire budget. Any questions on the general fire?
The general fire miscellaneous equipment, pager, and PPE, did that all get moved to
Those
lit?
are gonna go to lit.
Okay.
You good with that?
Hazmat equipment gone down, is it just because we secured the majority of what we need?
We made a big purchase on some oil dry. We got a really good deal on some absorbent last year, so I don't predict that we're going to hopefully not run out of that anytime soon. Hopefully, if so, we're able to recuperate those. That's the only thing that we're, by state statute, we're allowed to bill for is hazmat incidents.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Same thing with the general fire life insurance. Can you explain the lessening of the budget? It's just $1,000, but
Believe that is due to reduce in memberships.
okay,
So we went from higher to lower.
okay.
We ready for lit?
Yes.
Okay. Lit, and Brandon, I think the three that, Mr. Tevenot asked about are the ones we need to add in. We missed adding it in, correct?
Correct. And also, the lit fire pager radio replacement, and basically we're wanting to consolidate all of this other miscellaneous equipment, fire pagers, radio replacement off of the fire budget and put that all in to this, this line item in lit. So it'll be a $60,000 line item. The paperwork that I have, and I'm assuming it's the same thing, it says the last year's was 25,000, but it doesn't have anything proposed for 2027, but that, the line item would be $60,000. It's just a consolidation of
Which one?
it on the 310, yes.
Somewhere in they're formulating and sending me budgets and me transferring them over here, those did not make it in. It's not an addition, it's just putting it just got missed and putting it in. So, the number will go up a little bit. And if we get too high on this total, we can move stuff back. I've already pulled some police stuff out of lit and put it back in their general because we opened up some room by moving salaries out. So, if we get too high,
What's that number?
other than expected revenue, we'll move it out.
310,
Dollar figure?
60,000.
Is there a name that we'd rename it?
it would,
I wrote that down, but
I did.
I brought it with me.
Was that the only one that,
Fire communications.
fire communications, yes.
was that what the only one that we are gonna change the dollar amount in the name?
Yes.
We use Mindy's book here to enter it into DLGF, so,
I will make sure, what I will do is when it's final, when everything's final,
yeah,
the Form 1
yeah,
will be correct for you.
okay. We'll get started with this and then we can just make adjustments. That'll work.
Anything else on lit? All good? All right,
I think
thank
it's,
you,
I think
Brandon.
it's just fair to mention that public safety is going to be the big topic, as I talked about earlier, about the adoption of a new local income tax rate. And, you know, we had a request from one of the companies to increase their allocation. We feel it needs to be part of the bigger conversation of the local income tax rate determination. And then what are our needs for public safety citywide? So that's, you know, that's why you see here pretty nominal differences. But again, I keep reemphasizing where we're heading to is a big, broad conversation about police, about fire, about EMS, and in the context of adopting that local income tax rate. And it's just going to take a lot of analytics and a lot of conversations between Jefferson County and Hanover and Madison to get there. But that's, again, the summer of 2028 is when that will be adopted. So.
Thank you.
We'll start with lit and just stay on this budget. I don't think you guys had any changes in lit, did you? Can I give you lit? It's up here. I forgot if I gave you the police budgets. Let's see. I know we moved some things from lit. The ones I moved back into your general. Your overtime and closing, is it in your general? Okay, so that's over there. Your radio's up here, that went up a little bit. Your gen supplies are in general? Okay, so that's covered. Your vehicles are still here at the same amount. And, I'm sorry, in lit. Yeah, and I'll have it up here in case you need to reference it. Do it like this. But I don't think. We put Lisa's contract in here. And that's it. So for police and the lit side, to finish out that lit budget, we moved, I think it was 3 things out of lit back into their general. Which would, you'll see they're missing now. So their overtime and clothing line is now in their police general. Their gen supplies is in their police general. And what was the other one, Rick?
I already forgot.
Me too.
Only see 2.
Yeah, maybe it was just 2, but other than that, their numbers don't really change in lit, just a little bit, a couple of $1,000. And then just to finish talking about the other stuff in lit, the Jail construction, that 41% is what we get and send back to the county. And then, that estimate's based on the lit estimate that we have, so again, it's a guess, but it's close. And then, we did add that police investigative fund, and that was on your request, correct? For,
Probably one of the detectives.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We moved the police department cleaning contract here. So there's certain expenses for the police department that we were still paying out of general fund stuff because the police department used to be in the building. And we never moved the expenses to their budget for their building and things like that. So their cleaning contract is now in lit, so they can pay that. And we forgot to talk about the fire debt at the bottom. This is fire. The debt service is for the new fire truck. So we'll have 5 years that we'll pay that payment. So we'll pay that out of lit. And then the emergency owned watercraft, that will be the payment toward the watercraft that we're getting, so.
And what year is it that we get that watercraft?
Next year.
Okay, so we've just been making payments all along in preparation for that.
No, it's, we allocated $100,000 out of ARPA, made a down payment. We're expecting an invoice from them this year for some partial work on the watercraft. And then the balance will be due, I think, in mid 2027 when the boat's completed.
So what is that 40 grand for then?
We'll have probably around a $250,000 balance owed on it, so we're amortizing that $40,000 over 5 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That's what I thought.
I'm gonna go to police general unless you need anything else in lit.
Police general it is.
Okay. Easy peasy. This is where we move their overtime and clothing and their supplies. We still have their stipends in. And I did add in the Axon contract, cause that is, I think we took it out of their continuing education fund this year, but
Yes.
we're putting it in their general fund.
What did you take it out of?
We had it in their continuing education fund. And that's your tasers and,
Body cams.
yeah.
Yep.
All good? Let's,
You wanna,
The salaries for the policemen, are they?
they're in, on the council.
Oh,
Pension is what it is.
what about equipment? I noticed in the continuing ed budget that we zeroed out the equipment.
It's in,
MPD continuing ed, we zeroed out the equipment budget line item.
is it in
Did we
lit?
move that somewhere else?
I don't know if it's in lit. Let me go back and look.
Okay.
How much was it in,
184, I think. See.
184,000.
That was 2025.
Yeah, zero from
Oh,
26.
okay. Well, let me,
I don't
I think you
remember.
moved that to.
sorry.
Lit, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, my bad. That is 2025, but it's in lit now.
Well, what's that for?
PCE, what does that stand for?
Police continuing education.
Thank you.
Pension, just real quick, is what it is. Rick is the secretary for that, and he knows who's gonna be receiving benefits there, and the increase is only a 3% increase, which, that we will draw down what he needs to spend, so it's a wash.
That's this is a pass-through, right?
Yeah.
So we collect it, we get reimbursed from the state, and you distribute it to the recipients.
Yeah.
Correct.
is the dip in the approved budget for 2026 because we're moving these funds, and that's why.
Well, that, didn't the mayor ask all the department heads to try to cut 5% out of their budgets also?
We did. And then, part of that is the revenue's not changing, but our expense profile is changing, but we're basically flat.
Yeah.
Flat is pretty good. This environment. Nothing else, our expenses are not staying flat. So their continuing education is the only one we need to do. And if I can find it. There it is.
So where is equipment covered at?
I never found it in lit.
Well, I'm not sure what that equipment line was for in 25, but their equipment repair line is 72 right here. They're in.
I mean, so.
I'm wondering if that was for the new tasers and the new,
I just don't remember. what that
Axon
line is
stuff.
for.
But do we have budgeted here, guns, ammo, vehicles, uniforms? Okay.
That may be correct. That may have been for the initial purchase of Axon.
It was a larger amount
Yeah.
initially.
Yep.
Rick, did you say that, I think it was last year, not this year, but last year you had a shortfall for ammunition?
Yeah, we cut it really close. I think we just made it.
The only thing I'll say on this budget, this is funded by revenue that the police department brings in. Golf cart fees, police report fees, ordinance violations. That's a big number. So we really need to look at those ordinance violation fees for them. And we've talked about that multiple times. They're gonna bring us some recommendations, but some of these are really nominal fees, and they need it to support their budget. So we need to talk about that upcoming.
Do you have a general cost per officer, like what it costs to maintain an average police officer through the year?
As far as
If you were to take in, ammo allotments, equipment, pension, just the kind of the aggregate cost of what a single pack. I know that's
off the top of my head, no. I think if you needed specifics, I could provide that. Ammo, I mean, we get $5,000 per year.
I guess I'll state my curiosity is having a basic understanding of what each person kind of costs in the year helps me understand how can we grow that force, how can we better equip them ahead of time, forecast the numbers we need, and then meet that budget, as we go.
Yeah.
And putting it down to the individual unit makes it easier for someone like me to understand that.
Yeah, I could come up with that. I don't
I throw out
think I can
125,000 per officer.
right here.
Okay, yeah,
Sa-
something
salary,
even general.
benefits, longevity, pension, equipment, vehicles, these easily $125,000,
Okay,
easily, maybe more,
I would say.
when you throw in the vehicles.
okay,
Yeah. And I will say, it's not enough.
yeah,
We need to be investing more in public safety, and that's why we're gonna get to that conversation about that local income tax rate. We'll have to have some serious consideration about what is a sufficient funding of public safety.
agreed.
So we aren't talking about salaries right now, right?
Deputy?
Yeah.
We can.
We just need to go to the council budget to look at that.
Okay. Well, should we ask, is there anything else for the, all right, for the MPD budget before we get there, right?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you were saying.
So do we need to talk about anything else before I move on to that?
Right.
About salary?
Any other questions
Yeah.
on his budgets? No good?
So we go to common council?
Yes, if you want to talk salaries for police, we need to go common council.
So I guess my question would be, do you have Chief, do you have a plan for large, heavy loads and trucks for when it comes to Clifty Drive and for Main Street? As far as how to man and patrol that and keep, and actually have a truck route?
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, just this week, we decided we're gonna go ahead and try to get back a full-time traffic officer. I know, that's a big, a lot of our complaints is involving around traffic and, semis on Main. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you would have one officer for Clifty traffic and downtown traffic, or just downtown?
Citywide, yeah.
Citywide?
Yeah.
So that would be like a 8 to 4 job?
Yeah, basically, but we also, we're gonna kind of rotate it so that they can hit the school zones in the morning as well. So, some days it'll be 7 to 3, other days it'll be 8 to 4, so that they hit school openings, school closings. In the meantime, they concentrate on Main Street, Clifty Drive, any problem areas we have.
Right.
So, yeah. I had a gentleman come down to my office, spend about 20 minutes, talking about where he lives and the problems. And I know that's all over the city, so, yeah. That's on the agenda probably by mid-September to have this guy pulled off of a shift and just doing nothing but traffic.
So what happens after 4 o'clock?
It's just for the rest of the
Regular.
guys working.
Shift, we still have.
Regular
regular
shift
shifts,
responsibilities.
yeah.
And I ask that too, because we're gonna be investing a lot of money into our roads, and, if these semis continue to do what they've been doing the past year compared to previous years, then
Yeah.
they're gonna tear them up pretty quick.
Yeah, and I also think we need better signage at the top of Hanover Hill. And I know if you're coming in from the east end, there's a small sign right there of Jefferson and Maine, so I think all that needs to be bigger as well.
I agree.
Problem with the semis, when they're coming down Hanover Hill, there's really nowhere for them to turn around unless they use IKE.
Right, and they try to use Clifty Falls
Entrance.
entrance as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, so,
We have talked with, NDOT, and they're looking at the signage sizes on both of those points. They've made a lot of improvements around town that I think have been good, and they would read a look at that too.
I agree.
Yeah.
They have.
Yeah, I would just mention, just for point of clarification, we don't enforce weight limits on state highways, just on local roads and streets. So
Right.
you're talking about is true. We have a 5-ton weight limit across the city, 10-ton down here and on. I think that may be the only place that's 10 tons. And it is very damaging to the roads. And we're spending millions of dollars on our new streets, particularly the Main Street corridor. Truck traffic is decreased, but they still leak through, and, we can do some things with signage, but in some instances, they're just driving through because it's a shortcut too.
and the problem with that is once they're down here, even if they get cited, they're still gonna, they're still gonna go continue on Main because there's nowhere to turn them around. So I
Right.
think that the signage would be a big help for us. So hopefully that can get done.
And just like Mindy brought up, us reviewing our ordinances and the fees charged,
Yeah.
isn't that one that we really need to help you as a council
Yes.
to make it worth the pullover, and, not to make it so cheap that they don't even care,
Right.
and they just continue to pay the penalty and drive on Main Street?
They're surprised at how the semis I'm talking now, they're surprised at how low the fine is. And they're very eager to pay it and get on out of here. So, yeah.
So we can help you in that regard
We're
too.
working on that. We have about 20 ordinances that have a fine associated with it, so we thought we would, do all that at once, as we're updating our ordinance violations, Bureau Ordinance 2.
So the local violations that you guys can write, do they get reported to the BMV? Or
No.
Can they be?
No, BMB or insurance, so it's just
And there's no,
fine, and
there's
that's
no
it.
mechanism within state law to update our ordinance to do that. as
No,
well as-
no, only on the state statutes.
state statutes.
Yeah.
Mindy left the room, but Bob, do you know? Oh, she is there? Okay, on the line with all the salaries, who else is in there besides police? Is it really just police salaries in that one line?
1.9, that's police. It does include their administration and the expenditure. There, it doesn't include.
I was looking at the $5 million and I was like, okay, that can't just be police. Okay,
No, I broke it out.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's see if we can find somebody else to go before.
I'm sorry. All right, well, let's do, honestly, Tony's got a bunch of budgets, but they're all easy. So let's just do economic development, general and economic development NRO. Those will both be in the economic development tab.
Yeah, so over the last couple of years, you know that we have, knowing Senate Bill 1 was coming, the conversations, NROs have been really important. So we continue to use the NRO for, as you can see again, another decrease in the general tax levy for economic development. Really pretty minor now, about $10,000 plus salaries. So that's where you are. You look at the NRO budget, it has taken a little bit more for some decreases in the general tax levy, but generally continuing to run a sort of a lean, mean
We have two budgets here, economic development and then the NRO budget.
NRO budget.
Correct.
Lean and mean.
Only change on that NRO budget is Erica Klein, who was pretty much strictly working with Tony, and we had her in, I think we had part of her expenses in this NRO budget, and I have moved her over to, with the Common Council with everybody else, because she works also for the mayor.
So that was a position last year we utilized her time to not replace the executive assistant.
So
As a cost.
on the economic development budget, what you're saying is the general, can we go to that? Because I'm not understanding.
I'm not understanding the 52,000 approved last year when there's only about 10,000.
Yeah.
Because it's the salaries that got moved.
Oh, the salaries again.
Yeah.
Again, this is,
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And I'm sorry that I did it. I was not thinking. I was really tired that day. I just deleted those lines and I should have just zeroed them. So I know it makes it really hard for you to see it, the comparison.
Any questions?
I just have to say, I think this is probably the highest return on investment the city is achieving.
Well, I think the strategy that you guys have allowed us to do with being able to capture some of the liquor license and then the interlocal that the Madison Railroad is giving a dividend back to our community for economic development is paying off. And it's also paying off for the general community because we're able to then take less tax revenue and then give that over to other departments. So we're continuing to look for those opportunities. So thanks for the council support of those two NRO funding mechanisms.
Okay, let's move to planning. That's the PPD tab, and that will have your planning department, general budget, and the NROs related to them. So the nuisance and the PPD NRO.
So again, thank you for your support of the fees for people who use those services, trying to have those services pay for themselves, that people use, that not the whole community needs to pay for. So thank you again for those support. Again, the state statute will require us to review our fees again here in 5 years, but and there was a number of changes, as you well know, to fee structures for planning in the community and in the state, just because of the fact that they want to support more housing and try to eliminate the need for communities to put a bunch of fees in place to, hurt housing expansion. So that was a state, again, another state, I guess, mandate or law that has some impact on this department. But again, we're doing I think a very good job currently. And again, just very minimal expenses to what you need to run an office in our general tax levy. And then the NROs, if you look at those, are continuing to remain pretty flat. Our challenge, I will say, and Mindy can talk to this a little bit more, and Shirley, it's a little hard on the tax levies, on the tax liens and on the fines that we're starting to collect. The timing of those coming in from the county has been a little slow this year, not because we haven't been leaning property or assessing the fees for nuisance or the vacant and abandoned. It's just the matter of collecting them and getting them in off the taxes. So it's been a little slow, I believe, in collections, but we believe that will pick back up.
It's always a little scary because we get those with the tax draws. So we won't really know on like the new one, the vacant and abandoned, until December, and we can't really wait that long to find out if we're going to get reimbursed for what they've spent. So we're doing that a little differently in the 27. We just budgeted that in county tax because we can spend it right out of there and then not have to worry about when those liens come in. We'll put them in there and fund that fund, and the year after that, when we budget it, we'll use that money to do it. But we're just going to be safe.
So it's the first year where everybody's learning a little bit about that. The county assessor and auditor as well, and so we're working through that. Again, anytime we're called out on nuisance, that cost to mitigate that nuisance is charged back to that taxpayer on that property, and it does become a lien. Doesn't mean we collect it right away, but it does become a lien. So at some point, the city will be made whole for those nuisances being mitigated.
Is the reduction in the professional services because we're not doing a comp plan?
Yeah, I would say, it's obvious that we're continuing to implement the plans that we currently have in place and would not expect the need for that community dialogue to begin until 2028. And so we were able to reduce some of those expenses out of the professional services line. We will still need that and use that occasionally for other services. As you know, we don't have a planning director currently. We've had a couple candidates interested and continuing to have dialogue there, and we want to find the right fit. In the meantime, as you know, we have hired Amy Williams with TWS to augment the planning department from a technical perspective and to ensure that the Plan Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals is running efficiently, and I know a couple of you serve on that. Josh isn't here. I think she's been doing a really good job, and she's very responsive and to our constituents, and I think is doing very well. So,
Is that the item line for Amy's fees?
that is the
301?
that is the line item for Amy's fees.
Okay.
Kudos to hiring her.
Yeah.
She's good.
Any questions?
Add on this budget, that increase in attorney's fees, I can't remember if we've talked about it, but Joe came to us and said, given the amount of time he spends at all of our meetings and the work he's doing relative to zoning and the background work he has to do, he asked for a little more. It's $1,000 more a month. We split his fees between planning because they have a lot of those big BZA and zoning meetings that take a lot of his time, and the law budget. It's divided half and half. So their half went up $3,000 a year. We picked up the difference in the law budget.
Does he provide a summary of the hours that he spends? I'm sure it's a very large number in comparison to what he bills us.
Yeah, he does most of what he does under this annual contract and does not itemize it for us. If he does special work, he does send us an itemized bill, like for litigation, things like that.
Yeah, so for day-to-day activity, I mean, I'm just one person, but we're doing a number of deals. I mean, every ordinance, every deal, every financial process, every recruitment, every individual, he's on those emails and is providing legal advice. I probably talk to him twice a day. So,
He's a
no
bargain.
doubt that we're getting him for a discount.
yeah,
He's
he's
a
the
bargain.
second best bargain in the city. So,
Yes. Your mom can tell you that.
Yes.
so anyway, but yes, Joe is invaluable, and he is invaluable to the planning department.
It is something we should probably think about keeping better records of, or notes of, because what happens in 10 years when there isn't somebody willing to work for the same discount?
I'll send an email to Judy and ask her to keep detailed
And I
records.
don't,
Ask her to keep detailed records for you, for Joe.
and I don't know what that looks like exactly. Because you're right. You don't want to create extra work for somebody just for no reason at all. But we are, when things like that are happening and people are working, whether it's Joe, whether it's Heritage Trail, we're getting a huge discount for that stuff, or all that work for free. All of a sudden, at some point, that will come to an end, and all of a sudden,
Right.
the city's hit with a big number that we haven't been spending, and everybody's so shocked and surprised.
Yeah, and again, we subsidize, the RDC and other, we have outside counsel too. So Joe
Yeah.
coordinates that and helps, works through all that with the outside counsel on all the various projects, as well as any of the financing. So, and he has a pretty large role. Now, a number of those projects, ultimately, he gets some fees out of those too, so, with those.
Good. I think that's everything.
Oh, I could find something else to
Stop
talk
it.
about.
Sit down. Go home. Okay. We brought you, thank you guys. We brought you the most complicated budgets first and the biggest budgets first. The rest of them, sun's still shining. I'd love to power through. We have, the rest of them are either the other general budgets that really, honest to God, didn't change, or they are limited by the tax levy that funds that fund them. So I think we can power through them real quick. I can tell you where the changes are if you're okay with that. Anybody need a bio break before we do it?
Would you like to do mine too? I can just go super quick.
Yes. I think Shirley, yes, you can do yours. I
Okay.
think the only change is really your subs and dues and your part-time
Yes.
person.
Yes, so the substantives, first off, there's an increase for bank fees. That's for positive pay. It's a new tool that we use with the banks. We download each day to the bank what our disbursements should be. And if they don't match, we get an alert from the bank.
It's
So
under
that's what that
CT,
is.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Yeah, I know.
CT, sorry. Okay, and then the next increase is just, not really an increase, it's just focusing on what the actual dues are and subscriptions are. So that incorporates AccuPay, was not incorporated anywhere else before, so AccuPay is our payroll system, and it cost $35,000 last year, so we just are using that $35,000 figure. Key Fund, our accounting software, is $14,000. Then I have AIM dues for $100 and ILMCT dues for $500. So it comes just under 50,000. So I think Mindy padded it just a little bit, just in case there's an increase.
Well, it's hard to remember sometimes all the different software platforms that we use
Yeah,
and what
it
they
is.
cost. And honestly, that is not an increase for the clerk budget. Those were always paid out of the clerk's office, and I never knew where they came from.
Right.
But we never budgeted for them. So in the interest of transparency and our ability to know what it costs to subscribe to everything that we need to do to do business, we decided to put it in the budget. And then when we get back to common council, on the clerk line for salaries and benefits, it does include a part-time person to help them organize,
Clean out,
maintain,
yeah.
and clear out their records. I mean,
Yes.
the amount of records they have up there and on the third floor is ridiculous. So we were fine with a part-time person to help do that. So
So
that
if you
is
guys-
included in her salary number.
Yeah, so if you guys ever want to venture up to the attic, go into the very far west room, and you will see there are boxes and boxes and boxes. And we can't just destroy those. We have to go into Indiana Archives and request destruction of those records. And it means we have to have somebody open every single box and label what is actually inside of that box. So it's a little more than just like emptying it out. Emptying it out would probably take 6 months, but it's gonna take longer because we have to mark what's in the box, what we're gonna destroy, and what we can't. And there is a retainage schedule that we have to abide by as well. The only other thing I just want to applaud Mindy and Bob on is we approached them with this idea of getting everything taken payroll-wise, taken out of one line, multiple lines if we're working with water sewer. But I applaud them because they put everything into council. We're going to be able to, we do kind of a clothesline effect and take things out of certain banks. AccuPay will only take things out of one bank. And so what's going to happen is we're going to do a little bit different, but we were doing in front of the scenes transfers, and I'm not going to get too far in the weeds, but you have Bank 4 is for water sewer and TSO. You've got Bank 0 is most of the general fund that you've been presented with tonight. Bank 1 is aviation MVH, and all of those banks flood into what's Bank 2, which is our payroll bank. This is going to eliminate that bank too, so it's going to simplify things quite a bit. We'll have a little adjustment for our payroll clerk, but we'll walk her through it before I leave. So I just applaud you guys for doing that.
You're welcome, and it will be much better, not only for Shannon, who has to do, I think, 144 transactions with every payroll.
Yes, every 2 weeks.
So our records are not even accurate for several weeks, not
Yes.
any fault of hers, but it takes her a long time to get those payrolls posted because Key Fund and AccuPay don't talk to each other. So it's manual transactions to get it into the report so you guys can see it. We don't have accurate numbers until she has it done. It's never really caught up until year end, so it will help her immensely. It will help Jenna, who pays our benefit bills, Anthem, Guardian, Brit, all of that stuff. Every single month had to be divided out by bank and by line.
Yes.
It gave us great detail on the operations, but we've done it enough years now. We know when we're going to be, if we're going to have a problem or not. And we can still run reports and see that anytime we need to. But putting it all in one line means both Jenna and Shannon have to go one line for
Yes.
everything.
Well, and I also want to point out that we wanted for data collection to be able to go in and say, okay, how much of that disbursement was for police department or parks department or aviation. We can do that through AccuPay. We can pull up reporting through AccuPay by department. So you're not going to lose the data to find out exactly what you're spending in your parks or police or aviation or MVH. So there's really, it's just a win-win.
Yeah, I think it'll be much
We'll just
better.
have to sell Shannon on it.
Oh, we talked about it. We talked
Yeah.
about it this week. She was grateful for it, so.
Okay, good. Good.
Okay, are we good on clerk? Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna go kind of back to the beginning of the book, and we will look at BPW, which literally has no changes other than moving their salaries into common council.
Check.
Okay. All right, alphabetically, what's next is CCD. That is the rate that you all approved increasing to .05. It increased the amount that we will have available, gosh darn it, to spend a little bit, and that helped. So it went up to 410. Our expected revenue off that tax levy is 410,216, so I kept it just under that. And really, not really anything majorly changed. It says new on the DOC contract, but it was in there before. It was just combined with another line, so it's same. Now, it is more. It was 80 or 85, and they are going to increase it to 120, so it's a little.
Is that two salaries?
For DOC?
Yeah.
It's 2 crews.
Okay, but are we basically paying the salary of the supervisor? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Our security surveillance agreement went up a little bit because we have added several new cameras, inside and outside City Hall, plus some on the streets. So,
So that's what I was gonna ask. That includes the city hall, the
Yep.
riverfront, Main Street.
that is everything. I have asked
Okay.
them to give me one number for everything we owe them for the year.
What budget are we on? Sorry.
CCD.
Oh, CCD. Gotcha.
So that's CCD.
Real
sorry.
quick, the tree program
Tree program.
dropping 10,000.
Actually, we dropped it this year, I believe. I think in 26 it's 30 also. It had always been 28. We moved it to 30. Tim asked me, I think 2 years ago, to bump it to 40 because he had some special needs, which we did. And then we bumped it back down in 26 to 30, and we're keeping that at 30.
Okay.
I just want to add on that, we spent a lot more money than that because we're using grants. You know, I mean, the last grant we had was $50,000. We're applying for another urban forestry grant, so we're leveraging our local dollars with grant dollars and planting a lot of trees, and we're applying for a grant for an inventory plan. So a lot of good things happening on the tree front. Yeah, yes.
They just want the candy, probably. All right, our CCI. This is a cigarette tax, so we get an estimate from the state. They're estimating 17,733, so I've kept the budget just under that at 17,700. No real changes. I put a little bit of money in there for infrastructure. It's just not a lot you can do with 17 grand, so. Common Council. Okay. Obviously, biggest changes, the salaries, benefits, and all that stuff is in here. I don't think the property insurance you can see is about a 15% increase. That's a guess. We'll see. Copy machine, we did bump that because we bought a new copy machine. The other one had outlived its useful life. And subs and dues, we increased a little bit. There was a new software that we subscribed to, so I think it might have been the Microsoft licensing went up a little bit. And that's it.
And we have the election.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Good catch. We are gonna, every 4 years, we have to budget for the municipal election. We have to pay to put on that municipal election. So I put in 50 grand. It's somewhere around there. So we'll put that in for the 27 budget, and then it will drop back off for the next 3 years.
So the mayor's salary stuff right there, is that 3 people?
That is
4
the
people?
mayor, it is me, it is Jenna, and,
Part of me.
Part of Erica?
no,
Okay.
she's in the overall number, but she's in the ED number.
Jenna's HR.
Jenna's
right?
HR,
HR,
the mayor, HR, and, finance
finance.
is that, and that 221 is, that's just salaries totaled.
Right.
Could we, with this being all lumped into one now, could we get a breakdown from this total? Just to
I
help
have
us?
it, I have it separated all out that I use to tabulate these numbers, so I will just open that tab.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be helpful.
I think I hid it because I knew it would confuse you all, so
I
I'll
can
open it
tell
back
you-
up in your,
I can tell you the clerk treasurers if you wanted to, but Mindy has incorporated our part-time person, all of our staff, group insurance, Brit medical insurance, dental, life, medical benefits, that was a big one, 46,640, FICA purse, 59,000. So she's put a lot more than just salary inside of those numbers. Sorry if I'm overstepping.
you're fine. I can show you real quick, the one that I used to do it. Cause it's actually not bad for you to see how complicated it is to come up with these numbers. I have a separate file that I worked in, and then I made a copy of it and sent it to you guys, so you didn't get everything that I work with, but you get there. So these black tabs are the ones that I use. Here's where I did benefit calculations. So I did it by department, by bank. So bank 1 is MVH, the budgets that we deal with is MVH and airport. So I have every employee, their proposed new salary, whatever their salary will be in 27. And then how they are enrolled in benefits, because that changes how much we pay. On Anthem, there's how much we pay just for the MVH team. It's 5 people. We pay $71,000 a year for their Anthem. They pay $26,000 combined. for their benefits. Dental, we pay 100% of that premium. It's $3,900 for that department. Vision, we pay 100% of that premium. It's $781 annually for them. Life, $439. Short-term disability, Brit, $86.52. Their HSA is $9,000 for that department. I do have the data over here if you care about how it breaks out, but that's what I did for every department. Totaled their salaries. There's the FICA perf based on the amount of salary. Their longevity based on how long each person has worked for us. It might bump them into a new rate, so I calculated all of that. Add it all up, that's what's in the line. So I'll open those tabs so you can see them, and
Yeah, that would be helpful.
it makes my brain turn to muskmelon.
Because like on BPW, you gave us a list on the BPW page of the 10 workers whose salaries are included in that one.
Yes, and here they are. And then on the temp workers and the part-time and seasonal people, it's a number that they can spend for those, but those workers don't get perf, but we do have to budget for FICA. They don't get longevity. So each department is a different calculation based on what they got going. So hopefully it all adds up. I will, like I said, I will rerun these and make sure that we haven't missed anybody or whatever, but that's how those numbers were produced.
And then if I remember right, no pay raise, but a stipend.
Correct. We're going to do a stipend again, which helps the lower paid people.
How much was the stipend?
This year we're going to, or for 27, we're going to do $13.50. I think this year we did $12.50.
Yes.
So we're still not doing a cost of living.
Not across the board.
The higher paids will not, it won't be a
This,
cost of living.
this approach equates to a similar amount, but it benefits those. What we really need to do is lift the salaries of the lower band of employees in the city.
Yeah.
And the one way to do that is to give them this type of compensation rather than a 3% across the board. They'll never get ahead unless we make some major adjustment. So this is, I think, a very fair way to do it. But what it's going to equate to is those in the lower income band are going to get a equivalent of a 5% increase. So those on the higher is like 1 to 1.5.
Right.
Now, that said, we are also absorbing 100% of the increased cost of medical insurance. We're also contributing between $1,000 and $2,000 per participant in our medical plan to an HSA. So there are other benefits that we're doing that we are also absorbing. That is a net benefit to them and their pay, but relative to just the compensation, this is the approach we've decided to take for the second year.
Yes.
I just want to be able to
Yeah.
keep our quality people.
Exactly.
You know, and when you're not getting a cost of living years in a row, that starts to
Yeah.
affect you mentally as
Totally
well
agree.
as financially.
Totally agree. But
Well,
you see, especially doing the budgets the way we did them this year and dropping all that into one budget, you see how little we're operating on. It is salary and benefits that is the bulk of our general fund budget. And we just don't have a lot of room to increase those salaries, because then you start there next year, right? You're increasing from that higher number the year after. It never ends.
But we will have an opportunity to address this, when we get back to that local income tax conversation. To kind of continue to right-size our budget and also target employee retention efforts.
It's tough, and I have had conversations with employees because open enrollment is either just closed or it's getting ready to close, so they're
This Friday, I think, is
they're
closing.
signing up for their benefits right now, and they are aware that our costs are going up and we are not passing it on to them, and they are appreciative of that. There's value in that. And some of those folks are married to people who work other places who are passing on the increase. So they are aware that we're not passing it on to them. We're going to take care of that for them.
In prior years, a few salaries got spread between into like water, sewer,
Yes.
TSO.
Yes.
Any of those still
Still
have
that way?
Yes. So the clerk's office, I think, and Brian has rates that need to be looked at as well. So he is, for 27, he has moved those sharing salaries over to, I think, his sewer budget, or he moved them out of sewer into water, because we adjusted the water rates, right?
Yeah.
So he's put them into water because he has the revenue to cover that now, but we're gonna have to talk about his sewer rates at some point. I know that's gonna come up. But yes, that sharing is still happening. We cover the FICA perf in our general fund, though, for those. He only covers the salary. So he's got 4 of your deputies that are
Yes,
shared partly.
Yes, I'm gonna be honest with you, we do a lot of work for water sewer. So the Bank 4 is one of the biggest banks that we've got. Bank 0 is our largest, that's our general fund, but Bank 4, we do a lot of transactions for them. We also do a lot of bank rec for them as well, so with the. Yeah, it's a great trade, plus we've got, of course, the bonds, the water and sewer bonds that we're tracking for him, monthly transfers and things like that, so he's happy with us, I think.
It's a good partnership.
He absorbs a portion of my salary too, because I spent a lot of
Yes.
time in water and sewer.
And mine, from an
Trash.
HR perspective, and
Trash,
Jenna's, because from an HR perspective, we handle all the paperwork and payroll stuff when he needs it, and we work on stuff together. I don't think there's any other departments that we do that with. I think it's just those two, mayor and clerk.
Water and sewer are showing projected deficits. Is that,
It's manageable because part of the deficit is because of the funding into the capital reserves. So it is manageable relative to what he wants to fund in CapEx.
Yeah.
But as she said, we're on that track. Believe it or not, I think next year is the 5th anniversary of our water rate adjustment that we did. So next year will be time to look at water rates again, and in 2028 it'll be time to look at sewer rates.
backwards? Then we do sewer first?
We haven't done sewer.
Okay.
Sewer rates haven't been addressed
Sewer was
since
before, I mean,
2017.
Yeah.
It was that much longer.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been about 10 years on the sewer rates.
Well, we're gonna look at water again first besides instead of sewer? I think there's more to gain there, or?
We're gonna, yes, we've just recently completed a water rate study, and we'll bring that into council soon.
Okay. And by the way, I'm sorry. Yes, I just wanted to make a comment, Carla, that on the TSO water and sewer, as you know, you guys you don't really have anything to do with that. They're utilities, but I want you to see the operating costs. So we include it. Communications.
Congratulations, Hannah,
Thank you for saying it.
and our new baby.
As of this
Oh, I didn't know
morning-
she had it.
This morning she
Last
did.
night.
Oh.
Yeah, all is well.
Like 4
Everybody's
o'clock this
healthy.
morning.
Yep. Yep.
Congratulations, Camden, too.
Tell me how this is reduced by 50%, but I don't see where it's reduced 50%.
Salaries and benefits in common council.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
She did ask for a little bit more for the website update because I think it costs a little more to the new website that we did. But those are her only changes. She's bumping down the internship line just a little bit because
Say another good ROI. What
Yeah,
we get out of
exactly.
communications.
Yes. We've already done clerk, county tax. These is one of the ones we were waiting on, finals on the estimates from the state. Lit public safety and county tax, that's our lit economic development, and, we just didn't have the numbers, so. That's where I put the police benefits. Their salaries are in common council, but their benefits are over here because it's just too big of a number on that many people. So there's your benefits.
Have we under budgeted that before? Because that's showing a very sizable increase in benefits.
For
Was it because
26,
of
I think we
staffing
did 313 in this
levels?
and 300 in theirs.
I think
Oh.
I think it was we trued up the FICA, or not the FICA, I'm sorry, the pension, because it was, instead of 6%, it was higher for the police pension. I think that might be part of what you trued up here.
I don't think it was pension. It might have been longevity
Oh, yeah.
because they have
yeah.
a different longevity rate.
Yeah, you're right.
That might have been it. Technology, I bumped. We have contract with Entiva. And there's a little bit extra in there just because we are still replacing old equipment. So that's just a little bit higher. Utilities, we tend to pay all the utilities out of here that we can. That makes it easier on everybody. Economic development, we still get the amount from the county. This is through that agreement, interlocal agreement with the county. We drop it in here, and we are using that for, I moved it down here. That's what I'm using, half that for the vacant and abandoned, so that we're not funding a vacant and abandoned budget next year. We'll just pay it out of here. And then any revenue that we get this year and next will drop into the vacant abandoned fund, and we can fund it there next year. But to be safe, we're just dropping it in county tax this year. And I think that's it on county tax.
I'll just mention too is that we're not spending the 25,000 that was appropriated for 2026. So that appropriation will essentially zero out, and then a new appropriation will come in for 2027, but it's the same dollar amount.
It's also the same dollars. We're the 25 that we're not going to spend is in county tax for this year. We're not going to spend it. It'll revert to the fund. We're reappropriating it.
So I just want to point out that it's not $50,000 of vacant and abandoned abatement.
Correct. That's a good clarification. We've done economic development. We've done fire. Sure. So, Bob, our agreement, is it 40 now? Because it changed. 40. So we used to get 50. Now we get 40. I pulled 25 out for that, so I just left the 15. Yep. Yeah, when he renegotiated that agreement, it went down from 50 to 40. Fab, we talked about Fab. Is there more in Fab that we need to talk about? And we also have $100,000 in general park maintenance. Yeah. So if it's needed, it's there. Good. Law, easy. It's look, Carla's ready. Lit. No, there's not. The same stuff. Yeah, you're right. We've talked about lit. I think we're done there. LRS, that's local road and street. That is a state estimate for us. We're expecting 120, so that's what I've budgeted. And that's all for street work. That'll be used for a match for CCMG.
$120,000.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
It's a big game of financial Jenga. We've talked about MPD. MVH, this is the street, those 5 people in streets. So it's the garage, director of the garage, it's the street superintendent, it's, the ones that we pulled out of BPW. Their budget is the full-time labor, and I'll tell you the difference there. It's not an increase in money. I had our director of streets, so Chris Hale, he's got a long title. His salary and our director of solid waste and our director of streets, which is Will, I had those divided between 3 budgets because they work streets, TSO, and garage. It's too complicated. So I moved them all here. It's 100% here. So Chris's whole salary is in here instead of broken out in 3 different places. It's no change in the money, it's just where it's put. Salt went up slightly, and there's really no other changes. MVH restricted, it's meant for road reconstruction and road work. It'll be used for a match. Again, it's a small number. We are going to have to talk about how we budget the MVH dollars because it is a 50-50. We're expecting $526,000 and we have to split it 50-50 between each, and we are way out of whack. So we're going to have to figure out how to correct that. And I don't mean before we pass this budget.
You want to clarify that? I'm not sure what you mean.
So we get the state looks at MVH dollars as one amount. And we have to divide it 50-50 when it comes in. Shirley will deposit half of each month's in MVH and half of it in MVH restricted. And so both of those should be equal. We should have half of that 526 to do roads and streets, but we need so much to operate the MVH budget that it's out of whack.
So here, I can't really tell what we're doing. Is this, were there salaries and benefits in MVH
Yes,
restricted
because they're a different
before?
bank. Yes.
Okay, now they moved?
No, you cannot
Oh,
pay that in
okay.
restricted. No. No, that's why, I mean, I think we're gonna have to find a different place to put those
Oh, MVH.
employee dollars and get the money back in restricted.
Well, there's an MVH, and then there's an MVH restricted.
Yeah.
So does that mean the MVH is unrestricted?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to,
Yes, you can use that for related expenses however you need to, as long as it's
so if
street
what you
related.
said, if you're saying we get 500,000, half has to go to MVH restricted, you're only
Yes.
budgeting 37.6.
Right, because we're only gonna get 526 total. So Shirley's gonna deposit half that money in there. And we do this every year. At the end of the year, we have to true up the MVH fund. We can talk about it offline.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah,
just
just
saying, it's gonna have to balance out it
Yep.
the next time we do a budget. We just need to figure out how to do it.
So what is qualified under MVH restricted?
Reconstruction of the roads, it has to be road related and not,
So it's salt and street signs don't count,
no,
and labor does not count?
no. It has to be road construction or reconstruction. Yes. Okay.
And then the
Done.
LRS, is that also restricted?
It has to be road related, yes, and it's not salaries. And we use it for match.
So that the 105,000 for asphalt and striping can't be moved over to MVH restricted?
I could check it. I don't. The MVH restricted fund they're pretty strict. I don't know off the top of my head that that's
I don't know if you
allowed.
have enough to move anything else back over there anyway, but
Right. And it all goes
Salt, maybe.
toward the match anyway, so. Opioid restricted, this is we're just taking the bulk of what's in that fund and appropriating it out. Our JCAP contribution, our commitment is 30 grand. So 30 of that will go to JCAP, but the mayor wanted to appropriate the rest just in case there's another qualifying something.
Didn't we do that? Didn't we do an additional appropriation
We
this year?
did an additional, yes.
That increased it, and I think
Yeah,
we did 50.
and
Was
we're
it
not-
50?
It
We have
makes,
over 100,000
it makes
in
way more sense to budget it in so you
Yeah.
don't have to do that
Right.
stuff. So
And
if
we-
you've got it in your cash reserves, put it over there.
Yeah, and we're probably not gonna spend it this year that I'm aware of, so again, it'll revert to the fund and we'll reappropriate it out.
are we, so that line item, you would expect if there is something that would still be JCAP contribution, not something else?
Yes, well, it could be something else that falls in line with the eligible uses for the restricted opioid funds.
So if it was not JCAP, we only have one
Something
line.
to do a resolution,
Yeah.
right, to change.
Well, we would just ask clerk's office to add a new line, and then we would transfer that money down.
As long as it's within the restricted funds, help me,
Eligible uses.
eligible use, yes, we'll be able to put in a line. Just to keep it JCAP, it was one line, and then we'll put another line. It's just an appropriation line we can add. We're not funding any additional money to that fund.
Does that inter-fund transfers, they still require a resolution, not an ordinance?
It depends what department you're using, so, yeah, they're gonna end up using the same 400 series and 300.
Yeah, as long as it's in the same category, we don't
We'll be able to.
need to do that.
Or anything needed?
It just makes it easier for them to have something available. And I forgot what we used it for this year or last year, but
We sponsored some training for infants in bloom.
Oh,
We
that's
did
right.
JCAP and I think one other thing.
The next one, the unrestricted opioid, is, that really can be used for whatever we need to. So we just did 10 grand and,
Did we use it last year? Did we end up using it? Just curious.
For 2026?
I don't think.
Not yet.
I don't think so. Do you want to talk, Mayor, real quick about iPads and phones?
I think you should.
Okay, because that just, this is where it may come from, right?
Yes.
So you all have been asking for a couple years
Or,
about
from, yeah.
iPads, phones, stuff like that. So Brian Jackson did some, he really manages our Verizon account. The police use Verizon phones. I think his folks use Verizon phones. So he has a good contact and a good relationship with Verizon. So he did some research for us. And according to their quote, and it's good, we told them we were going to talk tonight. We may confirm this tomorrow if you're all okay with it, which I think you will be. He can get each of you an iPad, and it's a standard iPad, not a mini, and a Verizon phone. We can get those devices for free. Our monthly fee for all of it combined would be $329 a month, and it's unlimited. So you would be able to download your Outlook and have access to your emails, and anything that we send to you, it would be the same as if you had a laptop. I think the mayor's request would be that if we do this, and we're fine with doing it, we have the funds to do it, it's about $4 grand a year, is that we not print packets anymore. I think that's the right trade-off, is it would save so much time in the office for Jenna and all the people related doing those packets, not have to print them. And your packet would just come in a PDF, and you'd have it right on your screen.
100% behind us.
Y'all good with that?
I still like my papers. But it would make things more efficient for everybody.
Yeah. Jenna and Tammy before her, that Friday afternoon panic, trying to get those packets out, and then it's rough. It's rough on folks.
The clerk's office would still keep those shoved in that attic space, so you guys, if you want to see and touch a hard copy, we'll keep one for you.
Yeah, and I think you, Shirley, probably will need a hard copy still to make your notes and record your votes and that sort of thing.
Yeah, just signature, hard, wet signatures, so yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But we'll have that for you
You all
upstairs.
good with that idea?
Yes, please.
Okay. Done. We've been through planning, we've been through parks. Riverboat, again, I don't even have a riverboat estimate yet. I think they stopped sending them. It's just going away. That's just all you need to know, is it's going away. So I just lower it a little bit every year. We never spend it all anyway. It's miscellaneous kind of things. We will use the postage. We probably use all that money. The building and structure is just there for little things that we need. And then the professional, same thing. I need little buckets where I can pay an unexpected legal bill or whatever. That's what this is for, and we never spend it all, so. And then your sewer, TSO, water budgets are just there for you to see what it takes to operate and how he operates. Wheel tax is last. That 280 is the same number as we did this year. We think that's a good number. So. It's utility, so we don't really have any say over it. It's an operational budget. So you can review it at your leisure. It's got their own employee, all of the solid waste employees are in there, so your trash truck guys and the people up at the TSO and all that are in here. Bob is the one really that maintains that budget, and he's got it down to the penny. So I don't touch that one very much.
I guess we'll trust it.
Wheel tax, again, it's for street, so it's a good chunk of money that will help us toward a match, and our match is going down to 20%. Is that right, Mayor? 20% CCMG? So that's a huge help to us not to have a 50-50 match, and that's a big chunk of money that we can put towards street match, and we think it's a good estimate. And that's it.
Thank you, Mindy.
Hey, we got done before 9 o'clock. I'm thrilled with
We done?
that. Hey, there's extra sandwiches and cookies and
I have a
Please.
question.
take that.
Earlier, I kind of started off the conversation about the park investment plan. How do you guys want to approach that? We have $200,000, so there was two things there were two things really that's affecting the budget this year. One is restoring, the debt service for the Crystal Beach bonds, getting that back in sync. And then the other one is the new park bond for the park investments for 2027. And what we have in here is about $200,000 of a new tax levy to support the park investments. That is roughly just 1/3 of the actual cost for the park investments. So what we've spent a lot of time on is bringing in additional sources to offset the cost of these new investments. We've been doing that on everything that you've seen, and this is no exception, but I'm happy to go over that now, or we can do it at a council meeting. It really deserves about an hour-long presentation.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry.
Well, not tonight then.
Okay. We could just, if you guys are okay with it, we could plan that for the next council meeting, or if you want to reconvene tomorrow, we can do it then. It's totally up to y'all. Sure. Lucy, you're looking at me.
I have so much on about that topic. Anyway.
I would vote next council meeting. How does everybody else feel? You want a special meeting for it?
I'm ambivalent. A special meeting would be good to hash out the things, but I could go either way.
Either way. Fine.
I think we have a pretty light agenda for the first meeting in September, so it'd be a good time to maybe do it then. Or what did we say, September 8th or whatever the next meeting is?
I just wonder if we do it in conjunction with a regular meeting, should we schedule a publicly advertise a special meeting to take place after the close of the regular meeting, which would probably encourage less disruption. People can, if they have comments and things that they want to, general comments that they want to make, they may come and do those, and then we'll close the regular meeting, pause for 5 minutes. If there are people who are interested in it, great, they can come and speak their mind or listen in. But if it's just, if we're going to spend an hour discussing just the park stuff, perhaps we could have a special meeting after the regular meeting so that we can adjourn and then reconvene and possibly have people.
We'd figure it out. I'd like to have a
That might
special
be
meeting and
less
invite the park
disruptive.
commission to
Yeah,
join us and
invite
just
the
do it all
park
at once.
commission.
Yeah.
They can show up at the end of the regular meeting if we're having it on the same day, or if we
Yeah,
don't
let's
wanna
see
have it on the same day,
let's
that's
see
fine,
what
too.
rolls up on our agenda, because it may just end up being that for the whole meeting.
But if we just shove it into the regular meeting in the middle of it, we'll just have however many extra people wasting their time potentially, or distracting the entire conversation, who may not be interested in the actual topic, but they're waiting to talk about something else.
We'll look for an email. We'll figure it out. We'll try to do a combined meeting.
I have one thing that I just want to make an announcement. So October 15th would be my last day, because we're headed to Texas the 16th. But I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate the opportunity to sit in on all this. If that needs to be adjusted because we don't pass, I did that date because we would be able to pass the budget and give me plenty of time to help get that entered. But if for some reason it gets delayed, then I would of course extend it, depending upon caucus and all that stuff, so.
Yeah.
Right now, we're scheduling October 6th as the adoption date.
Yes,
that's
so
give
we
you
should
time.
be good. We
What's
should be
the
very
due
good.
date?
November 2nd.
Yeah, yeah, we're well in advance. She's got it all timed
We
out well in
basically
advance.
have one meeting cushion.
We have one extra meeting. It doesn't sound like we would need it. I would just say, if you have other thoughts, something comes up, we've missed something, anything that needs to change, we are gonna re-review everything, make sure the salaries and all that stuff is correct before we final. But for the next meeting, when you see the budget docs that are the official docs for approval, it has to be set. So, that's what I'll be doing, is reviewing and making sure that we have the right numbers in the right places, so that when I get it to Shirley, she has docs she has to prepare before we get to the next meeting. So it's a lot, and it's a lot of input now.
Is that gonna give you enough time? I don't wanna pressure you.
I'll have to look at the timeline,
Okay.
but, I mean, I think we're good, but.
Well, I did the Indiana code requirements, so I let the circuit court person know.
Okay. Oh, yeah, for that,
Yeah,
you're
'cause
fine.
they wanted
Yes,
a
you're
date.
fine, you're
They
fine.
wanted a date,
I
so-
just want to make sure that our numbers are set. I need to now move them into Form 1 so that you can
We can
build your docs.
pre-populate it based on this, and then any adjustments you make, we'll fix it. So, we're good.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
It won't be hard. We'll be okay.
okay.
So in the event, so once it's submitted to Gateway, then is there typically any follow-up required by the clerk prior to the approval? See, Bob knows, yes.
Yeah, the 1782, they'll send through the 1782. That's after, and I'm not
After
sure.
Weeks after, days after?
Sometimes months.
Yeah, exactly.
So that means that if Shirley's last day is whatever day it is,
October 15th,
or
right.
after the submission to DLGF, then the caucus, the party will have time to caucus, put somebody in and have somebody else in place.
Yeah, the law states, and tell me if I'm wrong, the law states that they could have a CPA step in if they didn't have someone to caucus in, so they could have a CPA step in, so Reedy or someone could fill in. But
And that would be at the mayor's taking care of that, the council taking care of that?
yeah,
Question, I don't know.
that's a
The
great
council approving
question.
it at the
Yeah.
mayor's,
I can
recommendation?
stay longer. The problem
And
is
I'm not
when,
saying you
no,
stay
no,
longer,
here's the problem is once my move is made to Edinburgh, I'm not gonna be the clerk anymore.
Yes,
I don't
exactly.
wanna do that. So that's supposed to happen like the 24th, 25th in that area of October. So I was giving myself 10 days to enjoy Madison without the title.
We'll, probably by the end of November, we'll start having some back and forth on the 1782, and then we'll have 10 days to respond, and that's a really important document to get right, before they'll finalize our budget, literally like almost toward the end of the year.
But like I said, I want to make sure that we and/or the mayor's office understands what happens if something has to be submitted by the clerk treasurer
Right.
during that interim period when there isn't one, and who needs to take action.
I'm not gonna leave you guys hanging
Yeah.
dry. So I will be here
Well, we
to
can also,
help.
the shoe saying we can delegate that.
Yeah.
As long as we know who
The
is
reporting,
what has
right.
to happen if that does the mayor recommendation to the
Yeah,
council?
who's gonna
Does
push the
mayor-
button on DLGF,
Does
yes.
the mayor just get to choose and do that by state law, or does the mayor have to get a council approval, or does the council have to do something?
That's more of a DLGF gateway kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I don't know the answer. I'm just making sure we have
Well,
our,
that's all assuming we haven't caucused in a new.
yes, and
Clerk
it'll only
treasurer,
be
yeah.
for a period of days
And,
or
and I
weeks.
can tell you that's not gonna happen because you only have 30 days to do the caucus, so we're not gonna be in that
It won't be
situation.
long time, but there could be a
Yeah.
period of a week or two.
Well, here's what I can tell you, is that the mayor and Mindy, they're on
Yeah.
top of it. So they're gonna be able to know exactly if the numbers look good. I'll tell you, they're probably gonna mess up the police pension they have for the last 2 years. And then we're gonna be very careful about the Crystal Beach lease rental. But there are things that are just, they're second nature. I'm available to help go over those. There's one person that can be the editor and, or no, sorry, the submitter. I'm the only submitter, but there are a lot of editors. So Reedy has gone in and done things in the past for, the RDA and sometimes for,
RDC.
the TIP.
And I'm
the
not at all worried
redevelopment
about the
authority too.
accuracy of the information being submitted. I'm just statutorily making sure we don't have a gap uncovered
Yeah.
between last day and caucus.
My
in-person
assumption
caucus that's
is
sworn in.
if they